Yeah, I think you have to give that up when you stand behind the desk here. There's no heart to be had, but there is some heart to be found. You've got to have heart if you're on the FNATIC side of things. So tell me where this lineup stands when we walk into here.
I mean, FNATIC, I think you have to talk a little bit from the organizational point of view. You know, this was a organization that had the world's best team, you know, some of the best players in the world when it was the Swedish lineup. And I think you can tell by the last two lineups in the roster additions, they just really don't have the budget to compete with some of these other teams like Navi, like FaZe, like G2 and so forth. So they have to really, you know, dig deep to find talents who are also affordable really for them. And I think they actually did a pretty good job at that, even with the previous roster. And even now, you know, you see Mezzi when he's actually able to just play, you know, he's putting out an incredible amount of just fragging power and impact. And then also Afro seems to be a little bit of a revelation in his approach.
Yeah, I'm understanding that Afro is the man to watch, or at least that's what Henry Greer keeps saying time and time again.
Energy, man. He wanted to bring him on that Cloud9 roster.
Yeah, well, didn't happen.
Who knows what would have been.
Might have been the tide changer. However, we do get to hear from Dexter before we jump into the game. He's obviously over there in the FNATIC camp, so what's he got to say?
It's our opening game here for Gamers8. And Dexter, the thing I want to start off by asking you, single elimination, it's a terrifying scenario, but what does that change for you guys? How do you approach it?
We're just gonna go like full energy going in. That's the only thing you can do, really. Yeah.
Full energy going in. Okay, so you got to make sure everyone's on the best form possible. How have you felt coming into this? How's practice been coming off the back of Cologne?
Practice has been pretty productive. We've been working on a lot of different things. Like, you're not going to win all the practices, but no matter what, after practice, we've been always just talking and getting something done. So it's a good feeling.
Now, you may have beaten Cloud9 last time, but now it's the full roster in there, right? It's a much more deadly Cloud9. What does this change for you guys? Do you think they're going to be acting very differently in the server?
Yeah, I think he's going to be a little more playing his own role with how he defaults and all that kind of stuff. So we're just going to have to be a bit more aware of how he takes space, because I think he has his combos and his routines and stuff a lot more written down than what Buster had. So yeah, we just have to be aware of that coming.
And what have you told Mezzi? Still 30?
40.
40. Okay, well, let's see if Mezzi can grab 40. That's going to be tough to do, but Dexter believes. Let's see if they get it done. Thank you very much, man. Cheers.
Now, I know there's a lot of hype around, you know, the FNATIC lineup. You look at it, you think about some of the pieces of this puzzle here, but do they all fit? You know, is this a time for FNATIC to shine, or is it going to be a grind time again?
I mean, it's tough having to go up against Cloud9 immediately. I think even in the previous lineup and with this one, FNATIC has done a good job of sort of hitting the ground running, really, and showing us a decent level of CS even without too much time to practice. I think they've meshed, again, pretty well with this roster, and now it's just about seeing how much can you get out from Mezzi, Afro, and Roy, probably, as the three guys that you look toward the most, and how can they match up as a trio compared to some of these other teams?
Yeah, and honestly, I think both Roy and Afro probably have some improving to do. I think Mezzi, from the get-go, is going to provide what he needs to provide. Roy sometimes has games where he can do whatever he wants. He's super aggressive, and I rewatched the game against Cloud9 in Cologne, and he had just moments where he was straight up opening multi-kills on top, and that's great. But this aggression needs to be reeled in a little bit, and Afro will just warm up into the role. Like, he was rolling from double poney. I know people like that little accent on that one.
Double poney?
Exactly, double poney. He was brought up from that project, and honestly, the jump up is huge in terms of like quality of opponents. Now he goes up against Cloud9, but I have faith. I have blind faith about what Afro is about to do. I think he's already done more than Nico does in like basically 9 best of 3s or 5 or 6 they played.
However many it might be.
However many that might be.
Yeah, I mean, still, we talk about best of 3s, we talk about the confines of, you know, what's a comfort zone for some of these teams. Well, map vetoes dictate a lot of that. Again, no room for error, none whatsoever.
And also a little data to work with.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I think what was interesting from some of the really conversations with, you know, Hobbit in Cologne, it was like when we asked him about it, he was like, well, yeah, with Buster, we just played Vertigo for a couple of days. I mean, with Exile, maybe it was something different, almost as if, wait, are they going to play Nuke or what are they going to play? But I think they had a couple of good performances on Vertigo, and that's why we see it banned again. And FNATIC going back to that pick, which really last time around, I mean, Cloud9 won that map. That was the one map they won in the series. Cloud9 picked Anubis last time around. I think that was a little bit of a punish. They also said it worked great for them in practice. So do they go back to Anubis, or do they go to something a little bit more standard?
I think
maybe an overpass.
Oh, no, there it is.
They actually stick that to me is a big surprise. It must have meant that some work was done or put down between Cologne and now, because that Anubis was really fragile.
It's also, I mean, Exile plays a anchor, you know, so that's a big position to have someone stand in. And this was the first game for Buster of the tournament. right? So that's where he was going to obviously struggle the most while he gets into the swing of things. The guy also didn't touch CS like a month and a half since he was banned.
Yeah, he definitely said that. Ancient is the last.
The actual, it's a mirror. It's a mirror video of their matchup in Cologne. Absolutely same matchup. We're gonna have to see if the maps score are the same. I have to agree. I have little faith in either team's pick. That's my situation. I don't think FNATIC is going into Vertigo with like a guaranteed W. Not at all. Again, we watched the series. There's a bunch of openings. I think FNATIC did good at abusing the lack of money that Shiro had to work with. Not a whole lot of AWPs on the CT side. I don't think they can just redo it right now.
Well, gents, I know what that sound means. I know it means only one thing. We're not playing 007 Goldeneye, but what it does mean is it's time to start the first best of 3 here for Gamers8, and we're going to be doing that. First and foremost, let's go ahead and head on down to the stage before we get this game started.
The sun is blazing, the moon is shining. In a land of heroes, where the stars are rising. Nobody can stop me, I walk through the fire around here for fame. Who will us the gusts of the storms in the desert? This is not a game. We fight for glory. My night. With every win we ascend new heights. I'm sharpening my skills and I focus my mind. The power nice in the heart of a lion. A battle with pride is a matter of time. I become the most greatest, the victory's mine. We reach for the cup, and the tension is up. In the city area, everybody's getting hot. It's not about luck, it's simple the skills that we got in the national scores from all over the globe. Are you ready to show up from broad the spot?
Welcome everybody to Gamers8 2023, and it's time for some amazing Counter-Strike. We've got my man Fancy to the side of me. He's going to be joining me throughout this epic adventure, but it's a tough one for these teams, man. Single elimination the whole way.
Yeah, it's going to be brutal for everyone. The fact that it's single elimination is going to change everything. أعزائنا المشاهدين يا أهلا وسهلا، حياكم الله معنا في بطولة Gamers8 CSGO اللي محتمل تكون آخر بطولة في تاريخ لعبة CSGO. راح نشهد اليوم كثير من الفرق جايين من أنحاء العالم ينافسون على هذا التروفي اللي ورانا. شفنا قبل شوي باشا بايسبز يقدم التروفي على المسرح، وراح نشوف وش اللي ممكن يقدمونه كل الفرق اللي معنا في هذا اليوم.
Now, I'm very glad it was Pasha that took that trophy, because That's 15 kg. That is a heavy trophy. We needed the man with the biceps to come through and deliver it. But now it's the start of the competition. It's $1 million on the line for these teams to fight for in probably the most grueling competition of their careers. Back and forth, we've got some of the best teams in the world who are fighting it out, and they just cannot have an off day. You need to be in your absolute best form. But Fancy, I need to ask you a little question here.
Tell me.
I got my favorite. Everyone knows I'm going for Navi. You've got Maniac who likes a bit of vitality in there. But what's your team here?
I mean, come on, isn't it kind of obvious? I gotta vote for the home team. Falcon is playing later today, and it's gonna be a great one. Really looking forward for that match. But hey, nobody knows what's gonna happen. أعزائنا المشاهدين في هذه المباراة اليوم راح نشهد في المسرح أشياء كثيرة ممكن تحدث. عندنا الستريم الأول والستريم الثاني راح نشهد فيهم مباريات كثيرة. المباراة الأولى راح نشهدها في المسرح الآن، بتكون من أحمس المباريات شاهدناها في الآي ام قبل شهر فقط، وكلنا عارفين من اللي فاز في هذه المباراة. فاليوم راح نشهدها اليوم في الرياض في هذا المسرح.
And our first team that's going to take to this stage, they brought in 2 major winners to find success. At least that's what they're hoping to do here on this stage. Give it up for Cloud9! And Cloud9 here, they've been in a situation where they took their first tournament not playing with their full team. Now Axal's back and they're expecting to dominate from start to finish. But this is a proving point for this team. It's not going to be easy. They've got a kind of rematch, but now they should feel a lot more confident with the 5 they wanted. You can see them now, smiles on their face as they walk onto this stage. But this game is not going to be easy.
That's definitely not going to be easy for them. Cloud9 أعزائنا المشاهدين وصلوا عندنا في المسرح في آخر مرة شفناهم يتواجهون في أي بطولة عالمية في أي ميجر. أكسايل ما كان معهم، ما كانوا في الفول روستر، لكن اليوم جايين عندنا في كامل عددهم وجاهزين يقدمون لكم من أفضل المباريات ممكن نشهدها مع بعض. ولكن جاء الوقت الآن أعزائنا المشاهدين أننا نتكلم أكثر عن الفريق الخصم، لأن المباراة هذه بتكون جدا مميزة، فخلونا نرحب فيهم أول شيء. من أوروبا أعزائنا المشاهدين رحبوا معنا بفناتك. زي ما سمعتوا أعزائنا المشاهدين فريق فناتك وصل عندنا في المسرح. هذا الفريق واجه Cloud9 في شهر فقط في الاي ام، واستطاعوا انهم يفوزون في 3 مباريات من اصل 4، مباراة واحدة فقط هم اللي خسروا فيها، ولكن في كل مرة يتواجهون فيها المباريات دائما تروح لراوندات اوفر تايم، ودائما نشوفهم انهم يوصلون الى فارق جدا قليل قبل ما يستطيعون على الفوز. فالجيم بيكون جدا صعب التعامل معاه، خصوصا مع تواجد افرو وديكستر معهم في الراستر، بيكون شيء مميز جدا.
Now for FNATIC, it's become quite an interesting team to look at here. We saw Mezzi step down from being the IGL and Dexter take his spot. But now for Mezzi, he's been dominating. His frags have been coming through, his individual level's been looking good. And then we've got to talk about Afro, the new AWPer coming into the role. It's been super hot from him from start to finish. And Maniac was just saying on the desk, you know, this guy, he looks like he's dominating more than we saw Nikados, their previous AWPer. There's a lot of pressure on him, but he's handling it well.
Definitely. I mean, a lot of pressure on him is not going to be something that he's not used to. We have seen him perform on majors a lot of times. أعزائنا المشاهدين الآن راح نشهد وش اللي ممكن يقدمونه فناتيك قدام Cloud9، خصوصا انه في آخر مرة تواجهوا فيها في آخر مباراة عندنا في الاي ام قدروا انهم يفوزون عليهم 16-11، فأكيد انهم ممكن يقدرون يسوونها في هذه المباراة، خصوصا انها كانت بيست اوف 3. لكن الشيء اللي لازم تذكر عزيزي المشاهد، هذه المباريات كلها بتكون سنجل إليمينيشن، معناته الخسران على طول راح نودعه من أول يوم في البطولة. توتر جدا عالي.
Well, I think what time it is. It's time for the teams to take their seats and get themselves ready and strap themselves in. It's single elimination. It's the first best of 3. But I want to quickly ask you, Fancy, man. When it comes to this, you got a favorite who you think is going to win for it? I'm sitting with the Cloud9 boys right now. Axal's back.
I mean, Axal is back, true, but like Dexter being the new IGL with FNATIC, honestly, the team is looking really strong, and we've seen what they can do. Maybe they didn't get a high position in IM, but I'm sure that they're going to bring it like a really good match. أعزائنا المشاهدين جاء الوقت أن نوديكم عند الكاسترز على طول ونتكلم أكثر عن شنو ممكن يصير في هذه المباراة. أول بست اوف 3 معنا في بطولة Gamers8 في CSGO.
Let's get ourselves into the game. Let's get ourselves into our first match. It's Cloud9 taking on FNATIC.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another epic CSGO tournament. This time we're out in Riyadh for the Gamers8 CSGO Championship. $1 million on the line, a brutal single elimination format, and an absolute banger to open things up. Cloud9 taking on FNATIC. My name is Henry G, joined by ever by Anders Bloom. How are you doing, sir?
Henry, I'm doing fine. I'm by your side. We're casting Counter-Strike, and we have a brutal format at our hands as well, which I'm just very excited about. There's no second chances.
Absolutely not.
This is going to be so incredibly rough, and I just look forward to it.
Considering the tournament you and I casted last four groups, right, where it's like, what, triple elimination format, it's a completely different world out here, and I can't wait to see how this one goes down. And a bit of a rematch here as well to kick things off. Cloud9 takes on FNATIC and Cologne, of course. It was victory for FNATIC, but a caveat without one of the world's best riflers in their ranks, Axel, but he is here and he is ready, and you've got to say Cloud9 got to be the favorites.
They just have to be. They look so strong, don't they? And you're right, even without their full lineup, they still look really, really competent. So I'm excited. I look forward to it. But I do think, you know, the desk we're talking about a little bit of FNATIC being sort of a true dark horse for the tournament. I actually think that's probably true. I think FNATIC could probably shock the world a little bit here. Now would be the perfect time for it. The format is probably going to favor you if you are a bit of an underdog, right? Because you can try and get those, you know, early starts, and there's going to be no slow starts. I think a lot of people have been saying that. You have to come out swinging right off the bat here. It's a best of three, but still, obviously, you're not going to have that lower bracket to go through anything like that.
It's absolutely true. I can't wait. What an exciting prospect. We're going to actually have the exact same map pool we did in Cologne as well, kicking things off on Vertigo, where Cloud9, even with a man down, managed to take one of FNATIC's better maps here. I have no idea which way this one goes. I think this opening map is actually very even in terms of who will be taking the first one. We'll have a look at who we start on the T side. It will be Cloud9 here, and as we are off to the races, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Gamers8 CSGO Championship. $1 million on the line. It all kicks off here as FNATIC taking on Cloud9, and we'll have a look at the buy for the T side, see what they're up to. It will be Cloud9 with a single smoke, a Molotov, and not much else, Anders. Going for Kevlar otherwise, so nothing too technical. Maybe something just group force and get stuck in.
That just makes me immediately think that they're going to be avoiding the A ramp, just because the P250 is so good on the A ramp, whereas on B you can get a lot closer with a Glock, and maybe the P250 doesn't matter as much. But I guess we'll find out. They did even buy another set of flashbangs and another Molotov, so they are going to be super B execute heavy. And again, the double Molotov is really good for the back of the B bomb site.
That's a good point. Yeah.
In the buy already, there's some signals here that it could be exactly where we end up.
It is quite meta. The execution with the double Molotovs, the river of flames engulfing the bomb site here. But as we get into the action, we are going to see the bomb just making some sound cues over towards A, suggesting they could be crossing the bridge. I think you might be dead on, Anders. We're moving in towards B. The full execution will be coming through, and Axel will be boosting up Electronic here to kick things off. They've got an incendiary on the CT side. They have read this. This is a read.
This could be one hell of a grenade from Mezzi. If he can slow down the whole push, he can call in the backup, and they might actually have time for it. This is so sick. So many more grenades, but there's Mezzi trying to slow them down already. Fire behind him as well. He's out swinging in the open. The backup is still another 5 seconds away. He has to either stay alive, but preferably they need a kill before that bomb's going down. Cloud9 there, slow down on the other side. FNATIC, they're starting to get there. Roy with the backstab to take down Hobbit is a good start.
It's a very good start, but the bomb is planted. Cloud9 have established their crossfire. The retake begins. There is no kit available. The headshots are plenty. Mezzi cracks things open. He was the one defending the bomb site initially, and he's done his job here as the CTs find frag after frag. It's down to Perfecto here, joined by Shiro. They're finding the kills, but it looks like FNATIC have done enough, and they absolutely have there. Great retake and a great read overall. You don't see many incendiaries on the CT pistol, Anders. It's very rare. And the fact that Mezzi's just there alone, he knows he can delay for 7 seconds there. They can't fully execute. Very interesting, and well done to FNATIC there. What a fantastic retake.
Kind of a classic problem as well when you're on the
just doing the settings there for Dexter. Just change the sends quickly, change the res, get it done.
It's a very nonchalant way to approach a tournament of this caliber. I'll figure it out along the way, you know. But you've got to say, I mean, they had the plan to get into the bomb site and get the bomb planted, but the after plan just didn't work out for them. And it's not their positions were so bad, but they were left with Glocks, no more grenades at all. They couldn't slow anything down, and FNATIC just won those fights. So, yeah, I don't mind the plan for Cloud9, but obviously just worked out better for FNATIC this time. Great start.
Well, with the bomb planted, they will be force buying here in the second. Opting for a bit more utility, didn't get the gloves across the board. A couple of Mac 10s in the mix and a Perfecto Desert Eagle. Roy, M4, just patrolling this A ramp right now. The smoke's starting to be exchanged. It's all about its A ramp on Vertigo, as we all know. Trying to gain access towards the scaffolding. As Roy will just drop a smoke on top of the sandbags here, just deny any sort of access up towards Crane. But in terms of what's left, we've still got a couple of smokes, 4 flashbangs and a Molotov. And they're getting some serious control here. FNATIC allowing them a bit of space towards the ramp.
Yeah, they are giving them, and that might be a problem. We'll see. Suspicious smoke, this one. I'm sure someone's going to be watching it. You know that someone could be playing around it. Roy's right in the middle of it. If it fades, he's on his own, and he's going to push forward. Actually, will get the kill on Axel, but surely someone's going to be able to trade this one, see if he can do anything more. Runs out of bullets at the end. It's the Deagle on Perfecto to take him down, and Electronics wreaking havoc at the back line with the Mac-10. Taking down Dexter, leaves Crims and Mezzi. 2 versus 3.
Retake grenades coming through as well, trying to deny that plant, and it's getting scrappy out there. Just Mezzi remaining, no longer the in-game leader. Known to be a fragger, but can't deliver in this particular round, that it will be a 4-spy victory for Cloud9. And like I said, maybe given a bit too much freedom on that A ramp, they were way too close, and Roy, with the all in play, the solo maneuver above his one-way smoke, he drops down and gets 1 kill. If he gets a double, maybe he gets away with it, but no one can back him up. And at that point, they gained too much access towards the bomb site, and they're just losing too much manpower. This was the play. It was a good one, that opening frag, but then once it's traded out, it kind of nullifies his efforts. It gives them a rifle.
It really did. And they slowed it down. They didn't even just swing right against him. I think it was probably good to let him simmer a little bit once he's been revealed. Probably quite stressful for him to be down there. Ties up the game and puts FNATIC in a really awkward position, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. This CT4 spy, this is like the worst place you could be. You don't get the luxury when you lose the pistol, you get an extra stage of loss bonus, right? Now you've been reset. Sure, you've got a round on the board, but your 4 spy is at the bottom of the barrel. We're talking $1,400 per player. So we're going to see an eclectic range of pistols with the Deagles, 5.7s, Scouts as well, and Shiro. So good at the rifles as well. I think he's known as one of the world's best AWPers, of course, but he has got pixel-perfect precision with the AK, and of course the Galil Mezzi. Nice position here. Will he be detected, though? It's a bit of a one and done. He needs Crims to set him up, and my God, will he ever? That's a lovely opening kill.
Yeah, you would have said Crims would have done a good job in this position if he could have just drawn away the attention from it, but the fact that he even gets the kill is a little bit much. Dexter will go down on the other side, so it's not all lost yet here. Still a 3 versus 4. Should be a good chance for Cloud9 to still bring this round home. Scout's going to be falling on Afro, unfortunately. A lot of conversation around Afro.
I'm a big fan. As Yanko alluded to on the desk, I've watched a ton of his demos, probably in the 20s or something, because we were going to sign him as our AWPer back in the Cloud9 days, ironically. Yeah, I was a big fan. It just didn't work out. Some of the players weren't as interested as I was, and it didn't really pan out that way. But he's a very explosive AWP. He has great calculated risk. He's really precise as well, and I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. He's been around for a while, just hasn't really made a name for himself. He was a double pony before, I believe. And we'll see what he can make of this. It's going to be a difficult round here, unfortunately. The full eco and a 5-man stab. But FNATIC are known for their interesting setups in these sort of rounds, Anders. You can never discount them on a full eco. They can make it work. They get the most out of them. Nice nade.
Ooh, yeah, that should slow them down just enough. Maybe even just literally slow them in terms of the grenade damage there. Shiro's going to be cleaning up a little bit, maybe get another 2 kills. Oh, he's actually going to pick up Galil instead. Still won't go down. The USP is getting a couple of kills in this one. Not really necessary, but I don't think it's the end of the world for Cloud9. I think they're going to be all right.
It's not, but like I said, a FNATIC eco, a couple of kills, that's about the top end, usually. But there we go. It's 3-1 now in favor of Cloud9. It's going to be another compromise buy. There will be one there for the CTs, but they won't have all the bells and whistles required. Decent effort here. Electronic, though, mowing them down, making light work in the end. So no AWP for Afro, I'm afraid. He will be here with the M4, bare bones utility, and no kits, I believe. So up to Electronic, trying to use the momentum they've gathered to crack open this B bomb site early, where they might not have everything they need to defend. They're committing, Anders.
This is so aggressive, especially for a team like Cloud9, who in the past usually would have been so much more measured. They would have boosted up. They've got that classic Axel boost, but this time they just send Electronic all the way in there to try and look for the fight. And it's putting a lot of pressure on the defense. They got 3 people who are rotating over from the middle, and even one from the A-bomb side just to try and be here. And they don't even have to commit yet, Cloud9. They could fall back. They've put Electronic so deep on the bomb side. What a position to be in.
The bomb is here. No frags have been found yet, but a ton of damage has been dished out here. Crims down to 11. They're waiting patiently behind the generators until the T's commit towards the plant here. Axel chomping at the bit here. Once they get stuck in, he knows the swing is coming any second. The bomb is planted, and still a 5-on-5. How do you retake this one? You've got barely any utility, but that certainly helps. Double kill from Afro, and all of a sudden they've got a 4-on-2 advantage.
There has to be something like that, but here comes the backstab, though. Perfecto gets one. He's ready to throw down the Molotov. Nice close-range shot, and the grenade lands in front. I think it might have got up in the air. I don't know. It's way too deep. That needed to be on the bomb. That's a bit of an issue. 2 versus 2 now. There's no one defusing it yet. Perfecto, we can't get a second backstab grab, and now they might have a chance at it here.
No kits.
Kit, you're absolutely right. So 10 seconds, not going to happen. Shiro standing, holding the line, and now the Glock comes out. Instead, it's hunting him down, and I think he's done plenty here, even with the knife just on the bomb, looking for it. It's going to be the round for Cloud9. They just did not have the kit. They needed that with the smoke.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. As I mentioned coming into this round, sure, you've got enough for a buy, but you're missing some key bits of utility, most notably that defuse kit there. And even in a 4-on-2, they should be winning that round, but they can't really play with the bomb too much. They can't apply too much pressure with that 10-second defuse. You have to take everyone down first. Such great effort as well. A 4-on-2 conversion after the bomb planted at a 5-on-5 at Shiro. That's the most important shot of the round. They're denying that defuse, and he didn't even know what was going on. Lost in the source towards the end, swinging the knife at nothing, but it didn't matter. The bomb was already too far gone, and that's a massive round for Cloud9 to pick up here. 4-1 in their favor on the T side of Vertigo. Bear in mind, this is their opponent's pick as well. And yeah, they're going to be having a lot of wind in their sails at this point, and this is going to be a brutal start for FNATIC.
And economically, that CT side you did mention is the worst thing that can happen. You win the pistol, you lose the second one, and you get thrown into the just absolute hellhole that they're in right now, where they just can't get out. Even, like you said, the last buy, it wasn't the AWP, it wasn't with the kits and everything they would have wanted. It's just such a miserable place to be. So I don't envy them right now. And again, we have to highlight the format of the whole thing. Yes, it's a best of 3, but FNATIC need to win against Cloud9 to stay in the tournament.
I love it. Like I think we need one of these a year, you know?
Yeah.
Like one game, get on the plane. That can happen. that can be rough, and it's been a long old trip out here. So yeah, you don't want to be dropping out in 2-0, and it's not looking good for FNATIC so far. Another partial buy here, I'm afraid. They will have the save Mezi M4. 4 pistols otherwise. If they can win one of these rounds, that would be excellent. That would really kind of bring them back to life. Certainly possible. They're quite handy. And these low buy scenarios. But for now, Cloud9 creeping towards the A bomb site, trying to just flush out the key positions. Molotov towards the sandbags, looking towards the boost as well. Very methodical, enjoying this. They've had no interactions with the CT so far. Afro exploring his options towards T-spawn. Bear in mind, only upgraded pistols here. They've got 3 HEs, Anders, so they're going to try and deny the plant. That's actually kind of interesting. You can see them lined up there towards heaven. That's where they'll deploy the HEs from and just try and deny the plant and give them something to work with, but that's a hell of a shot. And here come the grenades. We'll see if it works out for them, but they are losing everyone en route. Axel, known to be one of the world's best riflers, was unable to play against FNATIC in their last outing, and that's led them to a loss, unfortunately. So looking for revenge here, Anders.
This is such a good round. I can't believe it. I thought you were exactly right. If they even get 1 kill with the HEs, it would have opened up a space for Afro to actually get the flank in, but they just all got wiped out. I think they didn't even throw any grenades at all. I think they just all got shot instead. That's a bit unfortunate. 5-1, Cloud9, just an absolutely insane start here in Riyadh. I'm actually really surprised this is happening to this extent. They had the chance, FNATIC, winning the pistol. They needed to make a lot more out of it.
Well, almost everyone was saying after Roster Mania, this was the most exciting roster, right? This is the best changes. I think almost every pro can agree on that. And this is the first tournament we're really going to see it come to life now. They're not going to start on the back foot. They're not going to start with Buster in the ranks. This is the full squad. They've had a bit of time to work things out now as well. Everyone's excited to see what Cloud9 can bring to the table. And so far, it has been delectable. 5-1. T-side start here on Vertigo, their opponent's pick. They do have an Afro AWP, but he's been tagged down to 17 already. You can still, they're still struggling with the finances, no helmets, bare bones utility. This time they do have a kit at least, but they've been on the back foot throughout this campaign, but still early days here. If they can start posting some rounds now, that would be great, but we'll see what they can make of it. Still a 5-on-5 as we hit the 1-minute mark.
It's absolutely necessary, isn't it, that they pick up this round, but just to balance out.
I would say you're probably right, but it doesn't look good right now. The overall complexion, another B execution. Now this is the river of flames we were talking about before, Anders. You'll see the whole bomb site covered in fire momentarily. It's a very difficult execution to take down, and here it comes. They're setting it up at this point, and you just don't have much utility. You've got Mezi with no grenades whatsoever. Afro has to deliver. He misfired. He didn't fire a shot.
No, because the Molotov was landing on him and he was low on health. He had to run. Axel with a double opening instead. And a 5-on-3 just like that. You said it already, Henry. Not a single grenade left in there. Nothing to slow them down. No smokes to maybe hold them back. Just, I mean, it's a perfect call coming out from Cloud9 at the moment.
Yeah. They garnered access towards the B steps, knowing The finances on FNATIC is still an issue for them, and they just didn't have the utility to hold on. Absolutely nothing in their back pocket there. Had he had a smoke, maybe you could have denied some sort of access, blocked off a choke point, but when everything's wide open, you've got Afro with the AWP, couldn't even fire off a shot. He had to find at least one to take some of the aggro away from Mezzi, and maybe he can get one of his trademark spray downs, but not meant to be.
I think, to be honest, I think he got cold feet, ironically, because they did throw a Molotov at him, but he just didn't want to stick around. He just felt like, I'm gonna burn alive here, and it's not worth it. But yeah, he probably did have to get at least one shot off before he exited that position, and it just wasn't meant to be. 6-1 instead. Cloud9 are steamrolling FNATIC at the moment. Unbelievable scenes. Timeout being called, the second one for FNATIC to try and compose themselves to figure out what is happening.
Vertigo, a bit of a home map for FNATIC. They know what they're doing here. Keita now able to chime in, offer some advice, but it's another difficult one. They've got like a half buy here. You can see the MP9 for Crims coming out. They're averaging $3,400 per player. That's the maximum loss bonus if you're not aware. So Keita, what are you cooking up? So, okay, so that's what I mean. Did he fire the bullet? Did he even go off? I'm not sure. So. He intended to, because he definitely was moving with the Molotov, you're right, but it didn't look like he actually got the shot off. But either way, Cloud9, smiles all round. New boys performing well. You see, that says it all. They are scraping the barrel right now. Desert Eagles, an MP9, and again, if they can win one of these rounds, yes, it'll reignite the flame. Crims, okay, dropping off. I thought he went off the map there for a second.
That's what I thought.
I'm standing pretty far back, but yeah, I thought he'd gone off the map. That would have been the worst possible outcome, but no, just dropping down.
My heart actually skipped a beat.
Yeah, it was the flames and the angle he's going from, but he can actually do something with this. Oh, surgical from Axel there. He knows exactly what's up. And a 5-on-4 to kick things off, and that was the only SMG they had.
You know, Henry, sometimes when we get these teams and you look on paper and you say, this should be a disgusting team. Like, they just have everything. They have so much firepower, so much presence. They've got playmakers. They've got, you know, they've got the insane AWP on Shiro. But very often I feel like it doesn't really work out that way. When you then, like, one thing is on paper, but then when you put it into the server, there's always something missing. But I feel like with Cloud9, it's one of those times where we say, actually, this is working. It's working really well.
Yeah, just before I get into that point, I want to see if Afro can do anything here. I feel like he's in a position to actually cause a bit of chaos. That's the first headshot. Takes down the Hobbit, but you can see Axel just working the other side of the map, ensuring this rotation can't come through. There can only be 2 players towards A in this 4 versus 3. Axel might call for his teammate to come over. He's got Shiro just patrolling this scaffolding position. Very patient, rewarded for it as well. And that's going to be it. I don't think many players have missed a shot on Cloud9 yet. Every time we're on their POV, it just seems like it's absolutely perfect.
It's a scary start to a tournament. For everyone else watching as well, right? Assuming Cloud9 can keep this form up, everyone else who has to face them down the road are going to be looking at this game thinking, man, that's going to be really hard to play against.
Let's just get into the format here. So essentially, like we said, it's single elimination. It's a whole bracket. To break it down into its most layman form here, it's going to be 4 best-of-3s can lead you to a trophy. You win 4 in a row, that's it. You win the $400,000, the lion's share of $1 million, and that's pretty much as simple as it gets. If you lose, you are out of the tournament. Dexter, he can feel that getting closer and closer. I would say as Shiro, another prime position for a kill, waiting for his opportunity. This time will not connect. That's probably the first miss we've seen on screen for Cloud9 as Roy, this time trying to patrol the A ramp. It's been a difficult area for them. Haven't really had any success since the pistol, to be honest. Barely any frags. Everyone averaging about 2. As we go towards middle this time, and this is a perfect call. Like you've shown so much presence towards A and B time and time again. They haven't really utilized middle, and now going for a split here when there might not be any presence there whatsoever. Roy will do some damage towards Shiro, and actually Afro takes him down. The first advantage they've had since the pistol angles.
Shiro pre-firing a little bit higher up. Afro's good for another one. That's what they need. That's the start. Now they can't give this one up. They have to hold on, but hold the phone, Henry. There's a double push in the middle.
Yeah,
Axel and Perfecto, they're really deep. It's a 5-on-3, but one misstep, if you're just a little bit too quick walking back from this position, you could walk right into it.
They are behind enemy lines. You're dead on, Anders. This round is still wide open. You can see now they're trying to make up for the gaps they know they're aware of, and with this silence on the map, they're not really sure what's coming next. They need some information. Someone needs to make a play. And they're pushing in towards B. This is actually a nice call, feeling the threat of middle. They won't be giving anything away, but Axel He's on the hunt. This guy's hungry. Freebie has been found, and there'll be another player there. Down towards the B steps, and Roy might have just saved the day there.
Yeah, that should be a good spray down. Nearly takes Axal as well. He's on his own, but he does get the kill. A little bit of a nade. Doesn't really tag him up too much. He's still got a Molotov Axal, so he could buy a bit of space maybe. He's going to try and be quick with it, and Dexter will just swing wide instead and take him down. Second round on the board for FNATIC, and my God, did they need it.
Well, essentially, the problem with FNATIC has been the finances, right? After winning the pistols in that second round, they just haven't really had the luxury of an Afro AWP. He finally gets it in his hands. Look what he can do. And we see him actually get a bit of space. Didn't get tagged at the start. He was down to 17 HP at the first gun round. So we'll see him get these two massive opening frags here. Taking down the talisman of Cloud9, Shiro, and I thought there was a moment there. Like he said, that mid-push in towards B, there was a real moment of danger there, but Roy handles it very well, and it will be the second round picked up for FNATIC here. Maybe a tactical timeout's on the cards, but no, apparently not. We are going to continue with play. 2 AKs on the CT side now. Now they're going to make a dent on their CT campaign. This is the chance to show up. They need to find multiple rounds here, at least a couple in a row, and Shiro this time positioned towards B, looking for any aggression.
This has to be the start of the big runway for FNATIC.
Has to be.
They're going to be able to actually do something with it. Axal's moving up the stairs. Again, this is just very aggressive. It's so bold. No one's expecting it. No one's looking. The spray down is there. And Axal, he's good for the one, but that might as well have been a double right there. He could have had it. Crim's very quick to adjust. You could see nobody on the FNATIC side was aware that that was even a possibility.
You're just going to be so uncomfortable going forward now. This is a little maneuver Cloud9 have crafted, like being able to sneak into that B bomb site, understanding the tendencies of the B defenders. Mezzi didn't see it coming, but thankfully Crims was there to pick up the pieces. Still a 4-on-4. It favors the T side and then some, as we've got Afro playing well. AWP prime position, should be a kill. Oh, unfortunately doesn't connect, gives up his position. The Molotov's coming in now, and this is going to be very uncomfortable for him. Misses the jump as well. We'll see whether he actually wants to commit to the fight. They're falling back. That's all about nice position in the middle, watching the rotations towards construction there.
The fact that he stuck around, though, and didn't get pushed back is quite valuable to them, because at least he can call it out and say, you know what, they did throw a lot of grenades, but they're not showing up. And that's suspicious. And now on the A side of things, you can see they're ready on the ramp. Only 30 seconds left here. Roy very open. If he dies, the A bomb site's probably going to go down. That might have been a bit of a misstep. They could have played for time. 20 seconds now, Henry.
He's in the smoke. This is the only play that can save the day, Anders. If they overlook him, there's a chance, but Perfecto covers all the angles. Crims with a speculative spray actually denies the palm with 8 seconds. This round is turned on its head.
5 seconds left. They're running right through. No scope on the one side, and they're out of time. If they can find Afro, they might still have 1 second, but they can't. They have no idea. They're going to get the no scope. They're going to kill every single one, but they will still lose the round.
Unbelievable scenes. Afro just sitting in the smoke, knowing that's the only way he can win the round by virtue of the clock.
Did they not know?
They went for the fake plant. I think they knew the player was in the smoke. They were expecting, you saw, I think it was Shiro, went for the plant, expecting to hit the no-scope. If he hits it, they win the round, but he missed it. And as soon as that shot didn't connect, it all fell apart. So it's a couple of rounds in a row for FNATIC, yes, but they lost everyone en route. Crims, like I said, a speculative spray to try and deny the plant. It was the Molotov that denied everything and won the round here. But still, after winning the round, they're still on the MP9. Barely any utility. If they pull this one off, it'll be a miracle. Dexter taking matters into his own hands. He might have to push this smoke. Might have to get stuck in. Not feeling that
position for FNATIC to be in. I really can't believe it. They have to fight for everything. There's no easy rounds. The economy is constantly in tatters. They need to find a way back into this one. Axal taking a bit of damage early on, and they're smoking the ramp. They're trying to really hold Cloud9 back from this position.
Great grenades, does a lot of damage. Roy taking down to 31 points of health. He has been active on this A ramp, trying to inflict damage as they make their way up. Nothing really connecting in the last couple of mags, and you can see they're down to 0 grenades, Anders. Literally nothing left. So you've got to be active here. You can't just rest on your laurels and crossfires. Someone needs to find a kill, or at least get information. That's what Crims is going for now.
Once again, a diffuse kit in sight here, so once the bomb is planted, it's a big problem. Axal patient on that corner in the middle. Crims is going to be the first victim of the round, but this is not bad. Dexter and Afro getting back into the double kill for Afro before he's out of there, but it's Perfecto to bring it back into line. 2 versus 2, a massive health advantage for FNATIC at about 35 seconds. The bomb, it's all the way over there on Perfecto. They need to group up and try and play this one. They still got 30 seconds, so they could do something with it.
Well, there we go. FNATIC needed some gimmicky plays there. Like I said, they need to be pushing, going for some boosts, and it's working out for them. Massive health advantage. B bomb site technically open for now, but the rotation coming through from Mezzi. Only got 2 kills to his name. Should be able to make light work of these players. As long as he stays alive and get one, just like that, it's perfect. Denies the plant, 8 seconds once again, and Axel left with 29 points of health. And a kill. Mezzi, no. He can plant. That's going down. Oh, what? It said 4 on the screen, Anders. That's the rule. If it says 4 and the plant comes in, you've got it.
Did he take another second? Did he somehow, did he stutter step and do it again? I was so confused. I was 100% sure that was going to be a bomb plant as well.
Yeah. I have no idea, but usually if it reads 4 at the top, you guarantee the plant. But it doesn't happen, and FNATIC saved by the bell once again.
Ooh. I'm really curious about this. So he goes for it here. It says, yeah, I think he could have had it. I mean, think about how some of FNATIC's rounds have come. There's that one where it could have been a bomb plant. There's obviously the other one where they have Afro inside of the smoke at the last couple of seconds, and the time just runs out for Cloud9.
Hey, Anders, they were 7-1 down. They're just happy the rounds are coming in at this point, but still, they're entering after 3 rounds in a row in their favor. They've got 2 MP9s, a FAMAS, and 1 kit. And we've seen this play before. Establishing themselves towards middle, he can boost up, looks towards construction.
And another boost on the other side.
Indeed.
Trading boosts. But no one actually finding anything yet. Axel is suspicious. He's aware that someone could be up on that little ledge. It's going to be the MP9 that they run into first. And look at that, 98 damage on Axel.
Yeah, but they had the prime crossfire there. Crims just holds position. They at least get a trade. He exposes himself and leaves the setup, essentially. And now Mezzi's on an island. There's nothing he can do here. Like, he's dead. It's done. So you had a crossfire, but Crims just kind of like disabled it. They just didn't want to be part of it anymore. So he goes down alone. The MP9 shut down, and this is where things get a bit rough now, because your loss bonus on the CT side is going to be at $1,900 going to the next round. So you have to save these 2 weapons. There's no 2 ways about it.
Yeah, you don't have a chance, do you? But I mean, I think it's good to remember. Yeah, it was 7-1. FNATIC did win the pistol and lose the second round, and Cloud9 win on a massive win streak. So curious to see how it'll play out now. 8-4, and FNATIC, they probably need every single round from here on out. They need to make this a clean half, an 8-7 type half, and that can still be done if they can, especially if they could save the FAMAS and the M4. That might make a bit of a difference. But again, Axel just, some of these entry kills that he's been getting, got that earlier, sneaking into the B bomb site. They're so valuable. He's up to 11 in total. Tied with Perfecto, who's also there, but then they got Electronic and Shiro both at 10. They're just, everyone is doing a great job at the moment.
8 rounds on their T side. Nothing to be sneezed at. It's going very well. And this is what I mean. So Crim stays in the corner there. They have to commit to that deep peak, and you get sprayed down from Mezzi up above. And that was the setup. I just don't understand why he would step out of line for that. Like, if he goes down, it's over. Mezzi's gone as well. But it happens, and we will see Cloud9 with all the advantages they could ask for here. The money was already broken after winning 3 rounds in a row. It's going to be even worse so now. $1,900, like I said, in terms of loss bonus. As you can see, they've saved an M4 and a FAMAS. They've got some utility, a couple of HGs in the mix as well. And you're going to be getting $2,400 next round, Anders. So do you want to buy into this one? Do you want to, around the M4 and the FAMAS? I would say probably not. You can buy going forward, maybe. Oh, the problem is you can't even get an upgraded pistol as well. So it's like full eco with 2 saved rifles. It's a difficult one. There are arguments to be made considering the scoreline, the context of how it has been going. Maybe you want to try and steal one away, but they will go for the more conservative approach and see what Afro and Roy can make of this one. But like I said, they do get the absolute maximum out of these sort of low buys usually.
I mean, there are teams now that are experimenting a lot with the economy, actually buying the M4 even in save rounds, just the odd one. So if you have to save one, I feel like you're almost having that round anyway. Why not just go for it?
Hello.
They're doing a fine job. Roy with a double spray down and the FAMAS up front with Afro. This is looking beautiful at the moment. They're just cleaning it up. They didn't need anything else, Henry. Throw all the theory crafting out the window. The FAMAS and the M4 did all the work.
That's the best possible outcome. You put your 2 rifles towards the A ramp. They go hyper aggressive. They hit their shots. And the snowball turns into an avalanche very quickly indeed. A 5 versus 1. They invested almost nothing into this round. 2 saved rifles, and FNATIC are back on their feet. We said they needed one of these rounds just to reignite the flame inside them, and a clean sweep on the eco. You'll see some smiles now, Anders. It's been pretty rough over there, but that is an absolutely massive round to win. Electronic knows it. And in terms of the finances for Cloud9 as well, they're somewhat in trouble. We've seen a Galil and a Mac 10 into the next round, but Roy. He has been playing heads-up Counter-Strike to say the very least at A ramp and finally is rewarded for it.
And you know what? Again, in light of the single elimination format, that last round, round number 13, that could be one that we look back on and say that's where everything changed. Again, Grim's just, I think there's something daring about the way that he's doing it.
Like
it makes it a little bit exciting, you know?
The gymnast.
Yeah, he's obviously been practicing.
Perfect landing, 10 out of 10.
But yeah, we could be looking back at that 13th round saying that's when FNATIC clawed their way back in the game, and that's where the tide really changed quite a bit.
Absolutely. This game's well back on now. But when they were 7-1 down, it felt like, okay, this is falling apart. FNATIC might not recover. But all of a sudden, it's looking quite promising. Cloud9 now on the back foot. Mac 10, Galil. And again, going for this A ramp. Smoke down towards the left-hand side of the bomb site. Execution of sorts. They don't have to commit to this.
Good nade. Duck right under the ledge, catching Axel and puts him on half health. Getting a little bit close now with the Mac 10. You could see he's thinking about it. He really would probably love to have got flashed through to do a little bit of damage there. They're pushing out in front, and Dexter, he's right there. The grenade will do the job. They're grenading Dexter just to get rid of the bomb gun. That's a bit aggressive. 4 versus 4 though, but Shiro, he's the real threat in this round in the back with the AWP, and he takes down Roy, and now I think they realize FNATIC, now they're in trouble. Headshot coming through it as well. Hobbit's going to be able to spray down Afro right at the corner of the box there, and it's just Crims and Mezzi. 2 versus 4. How are they allowed to get in here? FNATIC had everyone in position at the A bomb site.
Well, they've been playing very actively on that A ramp. I think FNATIC are trying to condition them that you can't come here. We're going to be setting up the brick wall every single time, but it's the one round they don't really show any presence. Cloud9, like I said, lower by, just trying to stick to the set piece mentality, and it is a nice execution. Pretty standard one as well. Smokes left and right, Molotovs down, flashes over, and Dexter, there was even a gap in the smoke there. You thought he was going to be the hero of the round. The bomb is denied, but all of a sudden, Cloud9 come to life here and pick up a massive 9th round there. Pretty comfortable in the end as well. And we get into round number 15. It's been a quick half. This has been pretty rock'em sock'em. Lots of action. Not many saves.
Definitely not. Yeah, I mean, it must have felt that way as well to FNATIC at one point. It must have felt like, how are we already, 7, 8 rounds into this? We just lost all of it. But now they are starting to at least get it a little bit back. They've got 5 rounds. Another one might make a world of difference. I thought they had that last one. I really did. I thought they had enough defense at the A-bomb side to lock it down, even if they lost the ramp, but it wasn't the case. So round number 15 is going to be everything. Again, it's very scrappy on the FNATIC side, but that's kind of been the theme for them the whole half here. Oh, that should have been a kill. He saw the jump over. Afro had the chance. But he's not afraid of Shiro, which I think is a good sign.
Afro seems like he's pulling his weight. He seems confident. Totally agree. And Mezzi, nice little off angle here. You wouldn't necessarily expect it, and Axel certainly won't. Nice trade, but Crims will maintain that advantage. Lovely setup there towards the B steps. Dexter, a crafty position as well. They're looking to find 6 rounds here. I think they might have done it, Anders.
Looks like it. I think they're vindicating that position that you were talking about earlier, having a little bit of a setup. He pushed through, but Afro, he's still able to adjust somehow. Hobbit, that's supposed to be a kill every time. A minute on the clock for Shiro.
I mean, he can win this. It's possible. He's got the bomb in his back. He's got a Molotov, a couple of flashes, but 3 players to find. We'll see what his first move is going to be, heading towards the A ramp. We have got Afro there with the AWP, a challenging first kill, but fortunately, he's down to half health.
The way he wanted to go for it. It's not going to be possible. Afro takes him right down, and 9-6 in the first half, Henry.
It certainly is, Anders, and it was a 7-1 deficit that they have recovered, but Cloud9, they are in the driving seat here. FNATIC will have to pull the socks up as we go to a quick break and be back with the second.
what you are. What have they sold you? On that red hot boulevard. Ooh, I'm doing damage control on my heart and my soul. Oh no, I don't need your help, said I'm good on my own. Ooh, I'm doing damage control on my heart and my soul. Oh no, I don't need your help, said I'm good on my own.
Can you hear the sound of thunder? Not much time to run for cover. Warning of what is to come. Can you hear it coming closer and closer and closer?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gamers8 CSGO Championship. It's the first game in the tournament, single elimination. One of these teams will be going home after this best of 3, and it's FNATIC recovering the half-handers. 7-1 deficit, pulled it right back to a 9-6. This game is right back on.
This could have been way more disastrous for FNATIC. They managed to scrape together some really tight rounds where Cloud9 ran out of time hiding it. They were so close to being a way bigger disaster. It's still going to be rough in the second half, don't get me wrong, but at least they have a crack at it here. They can bring this one back. And like you said, single elimination. Nobody wants to be on the plane tonight. You want to keep fighting.
Yeah, it's a very good point. And towards the B bomb side, we'll be heading once again. The Julies in the hands of the gunslinger Axel, baited in by Perfecto. First interaction coming through, and it's Mezzi to crack things open. A lot of damage done here. 2 CTs lying in wait, but FNATIC have done it. They've cracked open the B side. They don't have to commit. They can still fall back off this one.
Nice push on top. Everyone is here for Cloud9, and that should be a bit of a warning to FNATIC. Like you said, you don't have to commit yet, and you've got the evidence that there's so many people on the B bomb side, so just leave it alone.
It's absolutely fine. You got a 4-on-4, and sure, your original set piece has gone out the window, but Roy, he is stampeding in towards the A bomb side, but Cloud9 have read it quite well. They've got numbers here. They've got 3 CTs, so smokes are being deployed. The Julies have been recovered as well, and Shiro lying in wait, wants to crack things open here.
Dexter getting one. Shiro in return. He's just out in front with the USB, and he's hitting the headshot onto Roy. He takes down Afro as well. Dexter and Crims, and I especially like the position for Crims. Dexter, though, how loud is he going to be? They are turning around. They know that he's coming. Not all of them looking the right way. Crims, he doesn't check the corner. There's someone right behind him, and he's going to get shot in the back of the head instead. He just missed one single corner, Henry. Otherwise, it would have been a godlike play. He was so close to making it happen, and now it's all on Dexter instead. 35 seconds in a 1 versus 3. He goes for the first. We'll pick it up. He almost pre-fire the second, but Hobbit, he's crisp and clean with the headshot, and it will be Cloud9 winning the pistol.
Bit of a scrappy finish there. FNATIC, after finding the opening kill, were denied access towards the B bomb side there, opting to fall back in towards A, but it doesn't work out for them. It was a 2 versus 1 with Dexter in the end, and 2 players at 10 HP, a real chance for him, but unable to plant, and it will be Cloud9 picking up the second half pistol round, 10-6 overall, and this was a key moment, of course. Could have knifed him when you're such low HP. Just get the job done, just get the kill in the bag, and with no plant, we are going to see a full eco here, in fact, so we'll see what they can make of it. Just one single flash and try and get the bomb down. That would be a success in its own right if they can get a plant here.
Just saying, Config would have knifed him.
He definitely would have done. No question about it.
Well, let's see. They did have the one flashbang, which they used to get control of the stairs. So now, I don't know how you make it on from the stairwell. I have no idea how you get into the site. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good point. I guess brute force. If you get one kill, it could be enough for a scrappy plan, but extremely unlikely.
Yeah, probably going for the double boost up and then just hoping to power your way through. You're probably right. Just need the Glock headshot to start things off with, but Axel, he's in a hard position to dig out. He's got Perfecto on the other side, and he's got the M4A4, so he's got all the bullets he could ever want for this kind of a defense. The bomb has been dropped on the ground, and no one's going to be having a chance to pick it up here. Dexter going to get hunted down. Burst fire attempted. I appreciate it, but it doesn't really work.
It doesn't really work. Maybe something with CS2, the burst fire can make a return.
That's a big wish of mine.
I hope the FAMAS, because they updated the FAMAS like gun sound, the firing sound, but they didn't adjust like the stats or the burst fire. I'd love to see that kind of be viable again, and on the Glock as well perhaps, but not to be the case here, I'm afraid, and no plant found. Pretty clean round for Cloud9, 11-6, and the guns coming out here for FNATIC. AKs across the board. They've got the essential pieces of utility. Smokes and a push in towards the A ramp here. Gap smoke is down. Nades towards the sandbags here, and CT's actually allowing them to have pretty decent control.
11-6. What a difficult scoreline to recover, but if they can start early on, it's definitely doable, right? If they get this next one and make it 11-7, not everything is done yet. And Afro, the guy that a lot of people were talking about early on, he's really living up to the hype. He's got 14 kills at the moment, so he's performing at a high level, matching what Cloud9 are doing at the moment. Roy getting almost caught at the bottom of the ramp, but he's going to be all right with it. 87 health still. Shiro in a lot of trouble. That Kurtzen does provide no cover at all, and he's going to go down eventually. They're going to find him. Good job. Yeah, 5 versus 3.
Massive opening for Axia. It is going to be the MP9s and Hobbit's M4 to defend. Surely no chance. What's the final play here from FNATIC? Looks like they'll be edging their way over towards a B bomb site. Axar would have to do God's work here with the SMG to really even make a dent. We'll see what he can make of it. It all comes down to timings and overlook positions. It needs to be baited in, and all 3 CTs are here, and all of a sudden, this looks like there's a chance.
There is a chance. It's making me nervous. Look at the line of Axel. He's good for the double. And now the second MP9 is going to be swung, but it's just Perfecto left.
No way.
No, the burst, it's gone. Like, he's picked up 2 kills, and Crims on the other side has made the jump down. I think Perfecto knows already, and he just has to hide in the smoke. Only 14 seconds left, and he finds the shot. Crims, that's an ice-cold play. Remember, the bomb is on the other side. If Perfecto slips away, Crims does not have the time to go on a hunting mission to find him and plant the bomb, so he had to catch him right then and there. What a scary round.
We've had so many of those sort of rounds on a knife's edge. It felt like a guaranteed scenario for FNATIC, a 5-on-3 against 2 MP9s. We said Axel would have to go huge to give them a fighting chance here, and he delivers on all fronts. Sure, FNATIC win the round, but at what cost? They'll be entering round number 19 here with Galils, a couple of AKs here. It's a desperate buy on either side. Cloud9 will have a similar looking setup. They have got the Shiro AWP. That's going to be the difference maker here, if you ask me. Biggest round of the game so far. If FNATIC can win this, they're right back in it. They might be able to tie things up.
You are absolutely right. And like Cloud9, I mean, this could be another shocking swing round. If somehow the AWP makes the difference and Shiro is able to land some of these shots, you just never know what's going to happen. Flash is out and they're going to catch him. What a flashbang that was.
Yeah, courtesy of Afro, it's Roy continuing his strong performance here on the A ramp. Electronic, not known to be an AWP, will pull one back, but now it's getting scrappy, it's getting desperate. Knowing he has to deliver, Electronic holds his ground, but he's dead. Surely he's done for. He gets away with it somehow.
I can't believe it. You missed the shot and you're that out in the open, but they just didn't want to risk it. Still a 4 versus 3. 2 M4s, 1 AWP. You said Electronic, not known to be an AWP, but he got the first kill. The timing, it couldn't have been better for Axel. He's going to pick up Roy, trying to backpedal. Good headshot from Mezzi. Might be the pivotal kill right there. Flick not connecting. He's a little bit unsure about the rifle, you can tell. 30 seconds, and the jump pass is there. That should be the bomb plant, and nothing that Electronic could do about it.
Well, they'll still explore their options here. Axel remains curious, but unfortunately, it doesn't look possible. Saving the M4 and the AWP, of course, here. They'll retreat, and it's FNATIC, as we said, a huge swing round going in their favor. Once again, though, it's scrappy as you like. It's really difficult to see where the round is going in the mid stages here, but it will be FNATIC posting their 8th, and we'll see if they want to commit to a hunt. They don't really have the resources to do so, but if they can take down the AWP, that would be absolutely massive for them. Crims just checking all the corners, of course, but he's just looking to retreat the bomb radius. But well done to FNATIC once again. It's down to Roy at that A ramp, Anders. He's doing so well, taking down players there. Seems to be winning every single duel he's in, and taking out Shiro as well, courtesy of an Afro flashbang. That is massive, and we really have got a game on our hands now, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, single elimination is best of 3. Opening game of the tournament. You could be going home after 1 game of Counter-Strike. It's brutal, but I absolutely love it. As Roy, as we said, that perfect flashbang sets him up for a guaranteed frag, and then Mezzi. This is the one that actually secures the round.
And you know, for Cloud9 not to go for the 2-on-3 there, I think it makes sense when you have the round lead, right? They have a bit of a buffer zone before FNATIC start to catch up to them. So if you throw away the rifles, you're going to be in this awkward position. I appreciate the fact that they just said, okay, the AWP and the AK is just worth so much to us. Even in the next round, it's not going to be worth it. So still, it's a very close scoreline. We love to see it here. 11-8. I mean, this is a great beginning. You're not going to have many more chances, right? You might have another map after this, maybe a third one if things go really well. But for FNATIC, like you said, this is a really great map for them. If they wanted to upset Cloud9, this would be the map to do it.
Absolutely true. Big round here. Cloud9 investing everything they had. They have the saved AK in the hands of Axel. And he can do unbelievable things with that weapon. Speaking of which, Shiro the AWP once again, this time looking to best. FNATIC at the A ramp. It's a beautiful shot, but still at what cost? FNATIC fragging back in return. They've got the man advantage. It's Dexter with full mid control. Smokes off towards the elevated position. Molotov on construction as well. Mezzi looking to set up the B splits here potentially.
I think Electronic saved Shiro by just walking in front of the bullet. I think Shiro should have been dead there. That's unbelievable. 3 versus 4 though, and Afro, look at the sneak in. They don't realize this time Shiro, he's already survived 1 sneak up. This time surely it's going to be the end of it. A little bit of a missed shot, but the flick is not quite quick enough, and Afro going to continue. Doesn't look like he has a Galil. He's just cleaning up the map, goes for the fight, and it's another headshot. 3 kills for Afro as he just outright wins the round.
Afro, not a one-trick pony, it seems.
No.
Seems to be very capable with all the weapons available in CSGO. This time the Galil shining bright there as he creeps in towards the A bomb site, threads the needle, finds Shiro and gets 3 headshots in total. It was another chaotic round, of course. Cloud9 not looking very comfortable in the last few, and they'll be down to pretty much a full eco here. No armor, upgraded pistols, and 1 nade. So FNATIC, like we said, after winning that huge swing round, they are in the driving seat right now, looking to find double digits. The opening frag for Mezzi. Dexter might be able to find a 2nd kill as well. Damage inflicted towards Axel. And they've got B steps controlled. Again, don't have to commit. Don't have to rush this one. They've got the advantage. Need to ascertain what they're up against. And the reaction from the CTs is coming through. No flashbang to speak of, but a headshot from Axel. And Perfecto connects to the Deagle as well. So back to a 3-on-3. Still a massive advantage for FNATIC, of course, but Electronic knows he needs to be a bit more active. They need to catch them off guard, and they'll certainly do that. There's the kill. Shiro might actually be able to find yet another, bring it down to an advantage in their favor, but that's the kill that really had to land. Perfecto now left on the A bomb site alone at 2-on-1 with no armor, but a Desert Eagle in hand.
Oh, my face was just wrinkled up for this whole round. It's just very uncomfortable watching FNATIC. They need to close these rounds out a lot more convincingly. I get that they would jump in the ramp and it kind of spiraled a little bit out of control, but you can't slip up in these rounds. You have a real crack at it here to get back and actually win the map, but if you end up losing a round like this one, then I don't think you're going to get many more chances. Cloud9 are still looking really powerful. Perfecto's alive with the Deagle. He's got 17 kills, and they are kind of walking towards him. Let's see how long he's going to be patient for. Again, he's a very, very smart player. Takes a lot to get ahead of him. 25 seconds here. He's thinking about it. He's worried about the potential backstab, but he's in the right position. He's got the right idea. This could be done, Henry. He could still win the round. There's the bomb plant out in front. Goes for a bit of a sneak. He's walking up close. Let's see if they double peek him or if he gets the 1D off. He had the chance, and 1 chance is exactly all he's going to get. Afro takes him down and lands himself at 20 kills, Henry.
Yeah, epic performance for him so far. Doesn't seem phased by the big stage whatsoever. And yeah, top of the scoreboard and then some for FNATIC. 20 and 15 beneath him will be I believe. 1 second, Dexter and Crims at 12. And it's a tactical timeout for the CTs as well. They have got the buy available once again. Like you said, a pretty convincing performance with just the pistols there. No armor, didn't invest too much. Brought it down to a 2 versus 1, which was technically possible. But Afro shutting down the hopes and dreams of Axel there. We are going to see now an AWP for Shiro, currently set at 14 kills, 4 M4s otherwise, and what a fantastic start it was for Cloud9. 7-1 up. It felt like it was a bit of a non-starter for FNATIC, but after winning a couple of key and crucial clutch situations, and by virtue of the clock, Cloud9 gave a few up, they've actually managed to claw their way back into this game. It will be 4 rounds in a row for FNATIC after losing the second half pistol as well, and another huge round on the agenda here.
Here's where I'm really curious if Shiro has the kind of playmaking ability to push forward and land them a kill early on.
We haven't really seen on the CT side so far.
No, and he is normally, I would say, much more of a defensive, a little bit more of a measured AWP player. And obviously, Afro, you saw him on the A ramp when they were on the CT side, just finding those early kills. That makes such a difference. I would love to see Shiro try and do that. It doesn't even have to be the A ramp. You could, if you're feeling really bold about it, you can push into the middle with the AWP, maybe bring an M4 with you for backup. And yeah, but you could push even further if you really wanted to, if you really wanted to be aggressive, because right now they are giving FNATIC a lot more map space. And I don't see Shiro do enough. It's hard to criticize Shiro because he's such a godlike player, but but there's the one thing in this game where sometimes I wish he would just take the odd round to try it, you know?
The majority of his kills have been with the rifle so far. We'll see what he can do. Round number 22. Getting to the bookend of this first map. Roy has been excellent as well. Some very impactful kills, and there's another one. Hobbit dropped early. Axel will bring back a kill in the form of Mezzi here. Another 4-on-4, but the full execution is coming in right here, right now. Electronic trying to avoid the utility, but he can't. Roy, an absolute homing grenade lands at his front door, and Shiro surely can't do anything with this.
Maybe he can. If he had another half a second, he might have been able to get the shot off on Crims, but the timing is absolutely amazing. The double grenade onto Electronic, setting them up so well, and Afro lands another shot just for good measure. That's tying up the game. That's FNATIC back at 11, and Cloud9, they've been slowed down. The money is running out. They're actually in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, 11-11. They might have to make a wish here. As Cloud9 are at the bottom of the barrel financially, it's Roy with high impact once again. Just that single frag, but to open things up and sabotage the A defense like that, it's very difficult to recover. And you see Mezzi's loving it. No longer the in-game leader, allowed to shine brightly with his mechanical skill. Hasn't had one of those show-stopping moments just yet. His frag total's a little bit low, 7 and 16, but still plenty of time here as Roy once again trying to find that opening kill. Molotov towards Sandbags, trying to flush the CTs out here. Smokes down, and they have got a lot of manpower here. This could be a straight contact play in towards the site, and it's the opening kill once again for Roy. Dexter will find the second round done. This was a partial buy, upgraded pistols and SMG, and they will be finding at least the maximum loss bonus going forward, and that's about as good as it gets for them. And they just have Axel remaining. 5-7 in hand, and 4 players to find. So it will be FNATIC after suffering a 7-1 deficit to kick off this map, and now in the lead, 12-11.
Yeah, what a way to come back into a game. Just nothing that Axel can do. Him and Perfecto, and I mean the whole team, they've been playing brilliant Counter-Strike, but somehow they're now 1 round behind. FNATIC have walked it back in the second half. It's unbelievable. And they have to do it. They just have to. Again, Anubis being the second map, that in itself is such a weird twist. And I just imagine that if FNATIC don't win this one, winning the whole best of 3 will just be very, very difficult. And again, you're going to get knocked out based on this result. So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. 12-11, ladies and gentlemen. We've got FNATIC in the lead after, you said, being down 7-1.
Unbelievable scenes, really. Cloud9 starting to shrink. Roy asserting his dominance on this A bomb site time and time again. He cannot be stopped. Was against the pistols this time, but he's doing it in the gun rounds as well. Round 24. Shiro back on the AWP. Feels like it's been a while since he posted a kill. Molotov down. And Afro. He's got the AWP on the T side this time. Flashbang from Perfecto, trying to hold them up. Disallowing access towards middle. And it's back to that A ramp. Bullets exchange. Roy takes 25 damage and a bit more after that. Massive grenade lands, but that's the 8th frag for Mezzi. Starting to wake up here towards the B bomb site.
Must have seen Axel. That wasn't even through the smoke, so he must have seen something on the other side there. Shiro holding the ramp position for a while. That might give a little bit more space to keep some defense in the middle, but we'll see for how long. 4 versus 5. Roy is very low, and it's worth really thinking about. It could be a quick 4-on-4 if they find him.
All right, Shiro, what have you got for us? Might not be much. They're actually looking towards the B bomb side. The bomb's not there, actually. This is a bit of a bait and switch. It's all a ruse, Anders. Afro's just trying to find a kill here, and his teammates are ready to pounce in towards A. That might not work out, though. Perfecto will take care of him. And now they have to commit. 50 seconds remaining. Electronic just needs information here. Doesn't have to go all in. Just retreat at this point, and that's exactly what it will do. Glitches out somehow, but he will live to tell the tale.
He's on 1 health. Oh, and that's it. The grenade will find him. It's right back on. They can still win the round. 3 versus 3, 30 seconds. It's not a lot, but on Vertigo especially, it might not make a big difference. You can get all the way across the map. No problem with that kind of time left. Messi, he's thinking about it. He's waiting for it. Hobbit, one false step here to the left, and he's going to be dead. We'll see if it happens. He's just so patient at the back. They might not... Oh, did he see anything? It looked like he did. He might have seen the gun barrel. Yeah, they're going to throw the Molotov. I think he definitely knows. And Hobbit, he's going to be good for the 1 kill there on Roy. He was low from earlier. Flashbang is absolutely god tier. Shiro setting it up for Perfecto to get the double kill. And Cloud9, they finally win another round. Their 3rd one that they've won in the second half.
Yeah, their first gun round. They were actually 6-2 down, Cloud9. So they lost 6 rounds in a row after winning the pistol, and that's the first they've posted in some time. They'll tie things up at 12-12. And Messi, he knew the Hobbit was there. Hobbit actually did very well to even get a single frag after being Molotov'd out with Perfecto with a lovely play here. Assisted by the flashbang, Electronic knows they needed that. Things were starting to get a little bit dire out there. And in terms of the money, they should be absolutely fine on the FNATIC side here after winning 6 rounds in a row. A UMP has just been purchased. I couldn't tell you why. I think it must be a mistake. No one's going to be bringing that to a gun round. It's thrown away quickly, and Dexter still has 6,600. But yeah, the UMP was thrown off the side of the building.
Can't do the buyback yet, can you?
You can't yet. What do you think about that? I spoke to Carrigan yesterday in an interview, and I asked him specifically what he thinks about it. He feels like if you make a mistake in game, you should be punished for it.
Yeah, I can see that. I guess the other side, the other way to think about it is something like, would you want to see the last round of a major grand final?
Exactly, that's the other side of the coin, right?
Like ooh, just feels weird.
I guess the counter argument is don't make a mistake. You know?
Yeah.
Like, the pressure gets to you and you fumble, you buy. Like that's on you. I guess there is 2 schools of thoughts there, but either way, we'll get back into the action here. Electronic, aggressive, of course. In a lot of trouble as Roy once again at this A ramp, finding these opening frags time and time again. He has been such a nuisance for them. It's Hobbit trying to pick up the pieces, and he's done a great job so far. Shiro finally finding some form here with the AWP. The bomb is down, and we're back to a 3-on-3. 16 kills for Shiro, and holds his ground, knowing he's got control of the bomb for now.
But Afro's back there, and they know he's got the AWP because they got the blind kill on Electronic. There's the shot from Shiro. That's Afro down, and Shiro continue. Look at him, he's so patient. Absolutely ice-cold quad kill coming out from Shiro.
Now that's the kind of play we expect from Shiro.
Yes.
Defensive lines, precise shots, and making sure they get absolutely nothing done towards the bomb side there. That's what we want to see from him. Perfectly played there. A difficult round for Cloud9, considering they had SMGs once again. You've seen them being active towards the A ramp this time, and Shiro alone had to hit every single shot, and that's more like it. 13-12.
How tempted are you when you get that first peek on the sandbags? If you fire that shot early, you're dead every time. So the patience to wait another, 1/4 of a second or something like that for the actual re-peek is very, very hard to do. It looks easy, but it is definitely not. A little bit of a setup here. Hobbit going to get the first one. I think Crim's realizing, yeah, this is going to be a double setup for the CTs. I don't think it's worth going for here. Messi with a slight chance maybe, but they start a man down. Cloud9 looking to get to 14 rounds. They would love that.
Neck and neck right now. Shiro going to be tested once again, and this time missing the shot. Afro punishes it. Probably wants to get his hands on that AWP if possible.
Where did Shiro's shot go? I feel like he had something going on there. I'm actually a little bit confused. Maybe the replay will show it. 4-on-4. Afro patiently waiting, and he's going to get board for it. He is absolutely lights out in this game. 24 kills. Molotov on the other side is looking to challenge Perfecto, who himself has had a bit of a nuts game. Hobbit's going down, and Perfecto just caught in the corner. Roy back in action, and it leaves Axile in a 1 versus 3. And I don't think you can do much about it here. I think you have to give it the round. Just save the AK, especially on the CT side. And that's exactly what he's going to try and do. So FNATIC will be able to tie up the scoreline once again. And this time at 13-13.
No one will survive. No prisoners have been taken, Anders, and they will have yet another round in their favor. FNATIC answer back after giving 2 away, and in terms of loss bonus, we're at the $2,400 mark. So, yes, there is a buy, but we've got 2 players hovering around $2,500. So you might want to take a partial. You might even want to take a full eco, but we're getting to that closing stages now. So just to note, Afro, good God, every position seems so calculated. He seems to be one step ahead, knowing when the pushes are coming through, and then this clinical precision with the AWP and the rifles.
You feel vindicated, Henry? You feel like...
I mean...
you claim to have seen him early on? You know?
I guess, yeah. In the smallest way possible, I win.
Every time
the least significant way, Henry finally gets a victory. But yes, to answer your question, yes.
Several years too late, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, the execution left and right of the Jenny. Like I said, as I usually say, they don't have to commit on this one. Just trying to bait out the stack, see if they'll react, work all they're up against. You don't want to be doing a set piece off the get-go when you're up against pistols here. Just hunt for some information, bait out whatever they have. And Perfecto, that just snuck in. Mezzi seems to be very aware of that prospect. Spam towards the wooden boards here, but he's found the 5-on-4. His teammates are encroaching on the A bomb site here, so he doesn't really have to commit, doesn't have to go any further. Roy looking to get stuck in, though, continuing this excellent form we've seen from him on Vertigo, and Afro gets himself another frag here. Round done, Anders. 14-13.
Yeah, Roy just feeling so hungry for the kills. He wants the CV and take it a step further. Not really necessary, and I guess probably say this point in time, just save the AKs. Not because it really matters, just because you don't want to give one over to the enemy side. There's no point in giving them an AK to run away with when they don't have anything else. So FNATIC will be the first to 14. Mezzi could get caught off guard by Hobbit with the C set on the other side, but he's very quick to adjust. He said maybe not the most explosive game from Mezzi just yet. We know that he's got it. We know that he could do it. Very curious to see what happens if he gets put into play here. Perfecto going all in on the round. It's going to be a flawless one for FNATIC if they don't lose a single player. And this could be a nightmare for Cloud9. It could be one of those games that you look back on and you think, we really had them. We had them in the box. We couldn't close it.
And bear in mind, you don't have much time to pick up the pieces, look back at what happened. You can't come back tomorrow and say, right, well, we'll look at the demos. Obviously,
nope.
This isn't a full groups. This is, there's no lower bracket. There's no group stages. This is it. And yeah, you're right. Cloud9 do throw a 7-1 lead. And they'll be kicking themselves. It's a best of 3, of course, but this is obviously a big round here. FNATIC hunting for map point. Electronic sitting in the smoke for now. Does he want to be flashed through? Looks like it. Precarious position to say the very least, but finding some stability here. It's Afro back on the AWP, speaking of which, up against Shiro as well. It's a double orb setup with Perfecto joining Shiro in tandem here. So presumably he'll be towards the B side of the map. He's actually holding middle right now.
Yeah, just the shins showing, but he couldn't find the shot. I don't know if it's always true, but sometimes it feels like the double orb is a sign of desperation for the CTs. It's what you bring out when you feel like a lot of other things have really failed. So see if this will play off the way that they want it to. Started to drop a little bit low on the grenades as well on the CT side. And still a minute on the clock, but a good opening. And that's the other power of the double orb, is you're not expecting it. You know Shiro is going to be the A-ramp. You're not expecting for Perfecto to be in the middle. So Crims just walks straight into the shot, and he ends up going down for it. Smokes all around that B stairwell. And not bad. Again, just one smoke, 1 HE left now on C9. Only 30 seconds left now. Started to get a bit close now. They bring the bomb over in this way. We can see what's coming, but Cloud9 don't know yet. Axel, he's going to be the first point of contact. He's going to be the one that realizes exactly what's coming his way. Bit of a smoke, and he takes down Mezzi. 20 seconds, Henry. This is a nightmare.
Yeah, what a smoke that is. That might just secure the round right here, right now. As you know, you'll just be walking into the Lion's Den at that point. You run for that smoke, there's no way you're getting a kill. It's full gray screen. FNATIC know it. They'll have to retreat. They have to give in. And with 5 seconds remaining, Roy needs to make sure he stays alive as well. That money's actually pretty decent. Hobbit, be careful, my friend. No need to commit. They don't really have the resources to justify the hunt just yet, I would say. Tying things up once again, 14-14. We're going right down to the wire. Back and forth now in the closing stages here of Vertigo, and it's going to be a tactical timeout for FNATIC, who do manage to save 3 weapons here. Just realizing there was no chance of getting towards B. A perfectly thrown smoke there towards the end of the round, and a chance to catch their breath. This will be the final timeout, however. as we'll see Mezzi, the last player to invest.
Oh, this is delicious though, isn't it? It's excruciating when it comes down to all 30 rounds in a single elimination bracket, because it means, you know, one of these two teams is going to have just a myriad of rounds that they're going to be looking for. They're going to be looking at and saying, man, if only we could have done this. If I had got that kill, we would have maybe won. Like,
had I planted the bomb instead of going for the fake, right? Like things like that. There's so many insane rounds that this kind of fell apart due to the clock or a crazy grenade that would come through, but we are going to get into round number 29, ladies and gentlemen. The opening game here at the Gamers8 CSGO Championship here in Riyadh. Hobbit setting up the smoke for the A ramp. Speaking of which, that's where FNATIC are heading for now. As per tradition here on Vertigo, the great battle for ramp control will continue. It's Afro with the AWP. A great game from him so far. Really making a name for himself here. 25 kills. But not going through the smoke just yet. Waiting it out. Seeing if anyone's up close and personal.
Nobody wants to make the mistake.
Exactly right. It's quite cagey this round now.
Oh, here comes the flash swing around. It's so good. No chance to turn around. You can't hear the pin being thrown. You're just completely screwed. Roy will get one good kill in return. And Electronic, he goes down. At least leaving the 4-on-4, but that was one hell of a setup.
Yeah, they'll be gutted. They went for the second peak there. Could have just fell back with the advantage. Weren't happy with it. Went for the double dip. Back to a 4-on-4. Roy always seems like he's one step ahead, anticipating any sort of CT reactions. We're not seeing many of them on the map right now. It's Axel in towards B. Perfecto will join him with that secondary orb, meaning there's only two players here, Shiro and Hobbit. Shiro hasn't had a bad game, but certainly not one of his show-stopping performances.
No, it's been possible, but we'll see if it's going to continue here. He does get the kill, turns around for the no-scope. You called him out, Henry, and he's ready to step up. Huge swing comes out, just Afro left. 1 versus 4, as he's got the first kill already. But there's so much more that's needed. He's only got 20 seconds. This will be a 1 in a million round to try and win. There's absolutely no chance that he can make it past here, and Shiro will take him down instead. Triple kill for him, and putting Cloud9 on 15 rounds.
And bear in mind, I said before, FNATIC have no further timeouts now, and it's now map points on their pick, and they have 2 players hovering around $2,000. This is now rough as you like. It doesn't get harder than this after such an arduous campaign to get back into this one. The 7-1 deficit, Anders, they had to claw their way back into it. The stars had to shine. Afro had to go massive. Roy with more impact than we've ever seen. And now it comes down to this. Galils, Mac-10s, Deagles, bare bones utility. And they need a player like Mezzi. If he's going to show up in this series, this would be the time, Anders. 12 and 20 right now. Taking off the in-game leader position to allow him to frag, and he just hasn't shown up so far, but can he shine brightly in round number 30? He's got the firepower. And they've got all 5 players outside B. It will be an execution. They have to commit to this one. They have no presence on the map otherwise, and it will be Axel with the opening frag. Mezzi has gone down.
Yeah, he got grenaded and then shot, and it didn't even matter that Axel was blind. He almost gets that kill on Roy. This is a bit of a disaster. The Molotovs are holding them back as well. Swing for Perfecto. He gets the kill, pulls out the Deagle, and in the meantime, Shiro's shown up. It's fallen apart for FNATIC. Their hopes and dreams getting crushed. It's just Afro left. 1 versus 4, and absolutely no shot here again. They know exactly where he is. There are no surprises in this round. And the bomb is on his back. He's got a minute. Cloud9 would have to make more than just one mistake. They would have to just lose their minds and go and fight him one at a time. And I don't see that happening. This is a disciplined team. This is an experienced team. There's no reason that any of these players should be giving up an easy kill. And they're not. You can see them just calling the freeze. He's so patient on the other side, but they're not giving him what he wants, and now he has to come and find it instead. A little bit of a swing around the corner as he's looking for it, edging his way into the fight, but they're like ghosts on the bomb site, and there's Perfecto taking him down 16 to 14. It's Cloud9 to pick up the opening map.
Well, that sets the tone for the tournament, does it not, Anders? The first map of this best of 3 delivers on all fronts, an absolute banger of a game. FNATIC take Cloud9 right to the very edge there, recovering their 7-1 deficit. But it's the class that shines through. It's Shiro that starts to wake up towards the end, and even after 26 kills for Afro, Roy on 23, it wasn't quite enough, but still, they showed up to this game. It's moving on to Anubis next, and they'll have to deliver if they want to stay alive here at Gamers8.
Tell me what it is you seek. Jupiter and Mars fall into my arms. I got everything you need. Oh, don't wait too long. We don't have much time to spare. This could all be done tomorrow. So all I need right now is your love. Taking me home, taking me home. So when the moon rises and the flame is ignited, we're stronger together and weaker divided. Yeah. Take my hand, follow my lead. Only one way to be living young, wild and free. Living young, wild and free. Yeah. We don't want too much. We've just had enough. Let me live in love. Let us live in love. We don't have
The matchup is Cloud9 versus FNATIC, and it is Gamers8, the opener even. So yes, we have been talking about single elimination, we've been talking about best of threes, and it's do or die time, crunch time even. For Cloud9, they definitely found themselves with that sort of footing and that sort of vibe as they let this one slip a little out of control, ultimately lassoing it back, and we're here to break it all down for you. I'm joined by Maniac and YNK, my name being Trace. Got a few things to look at. For Cloud9, they really had to work for it today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think you can see the work that's been put in from Cloud9. As we mentioned, this is a rematch against FNATIC. They've played Vertigo in Cologne, but the striking difference is this time around Cloud9 electing to start on the T side, and we could see the fruits bearing off very, very quickly. 7-1 lead from Cloud9. It put them in a very comfortable position. I think FNATIC did very decent and fighting back in the first half. They adjusted when they were using their utility. They kind of realized when they had to put down these smokes to make sure the late rotations from Cloud9 wouldn't work out. And at the end of the day, banger of a game.
Banger all over
Got
the
it on
place.
the bingo card.
Yeah, really close. You know, it seems like FNATIC has a good idea of how to play against Cloud9. I think both teams had a pretty good T side, right? Shows the level of preparation as well. And, you know, for FNATIC, unfortunately, they win the CT pistol. They lose the second round. For Cloud9, it wasn't a lot different. You know, they win the first and second because FNATIC ecoed. But again, when the gun rounds start, they were getting punished as well.
And you know what is actually very, very clearly different is this time around, Messi can't find Buster on the B side in terms of duels. We have to put context as well. Buster was playing in Cloud9 in their first, going up against their first opposition. This time around, Axile did a much better job in opening duels. He stood his ground a couple times on the B side. That was a big difference.
Is that a discussion to be had about targeting, perhaps, right? In that scenario, it would make kind of sense.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We know that Axile is a player that is solid on the B side, even though the stats aren't incredible in that game. I think he did what he had to. But also, if you're Cloud9, or if you're FNATIC rather, you're trying to abuse players that aren't necessarily used to play the map, and that's where we have to give a shout out to Perfecto. The fact that he's handling these positions, fucking A.
Yeah, whoa, family show.
Dial
My
it right back
goodness.
down, my apologies.
Speaking of which, Sierra Tango Charlie, STC. That is correct. That is exactly what's going to be taken over right now. Let's dive into this a little bit more. I know that you're very passionate, and I know that, you know, what you've kind of said there does kind of show that, but really and truly, Perfecto had the numbers to back it up here.
Yeah, absolutely great from Perfecto. A couple of moments where he was very, very impactful. He also bursted out the secondary AWP on the CT side. I think this is where Cloud9 had to figure out a solution to stop this comeback from FNATIC, and he did a fantastic job at that, topping the scoreboard. And a player that obviously is never going to really be the top of the talk when you have so many star players with you, but still valuable nevertheless.
Valuable. You see the value in the Cloud9 roster now, Yanko?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt about that, really. And I think you can tell that even though they didn't play a map for a long time, or it was the permaban for Navi, you know, players like Perfecto and Electronic, they understand the game of CS. They're very cerebral players too, so it's not going to take them long to get used to Vertigo, especially with the rest of the team being very proficient on the map. You know, they're going to help you with tips and pointers and so forth.
Yeah.
What a ridiculous round that was, by the way.
Bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot going on there. We've got Axile towards the B side. What happened, Yanko, if you had to really sum it up?
Yeah, I think it shows, you know, first the comfort levels and shows what Axile means to the team. Just sort of walking up, finding good timing towards that B bomb site, you know, catching FNATIC players completely off guard, getting 1-for-1 kill. That's just, you know, also such a shocking thing to happen to FNATIC early on. You need to get adjusted to that. And you know, after that, Dexter playing for info with that smoke throws it down, but you could tell that him and Roy didn't really have good team play there. They sort of dive on from Dexter just showing in the smoke, dying cheaply, but in the end, because of the time, Afro makes the high risk play to really try and, you know, deny the plant, and they end up winning that round, which was really important because it was a reset round. It allowed them to get a couple of rounds towards the end of the first half, which gave them a fighting chance in the second half.
And I think that was the theme of this entire game. The theme was T side having a really good start, putting the city into the bad position, and then seeing what teams can adapt the quickest, like find a solution. For FNATIC, I feel like it was utility usage and adjusting the timing, and that round that you mentioned is a very good example where things get a little hairy at the end. And for Cloud9, it was putting Shiro on the AWP. Like Roy had so many opening kills in the second half. 4 out of 5 rounds that FNATIC win at the beginning of the second half is off the back of Roy's entry kill on the A side. Time and time again. And then finally, when that checks finally cashes in and Shiro puts his hand on the AWP, it gets way more stable and they can finally put an end to all of these A abuse, A ramp coming in on the side of FNATIC.
Well, let's run it all the way back to the vetoes, right? So is it a crazy concept to play Cloud9 on Vertigo?
I think it is still. I mean, I understand that, let's say, FNATIC is feeling good on the map as well, and you know that Perfecto and Electronic hadn't really played it, but Cloud9 was one of the best Vertigo teams in the world for the last couple of years. You know that's going to be in their comfort zone, so I feel like you should be taking it somewhere else. And the reason why it's 16-14 for Cloud9 and not for FNATIC or something else is because they will be able to find those solutions, whether it's on the CT or the T side. Like, sure, doesn't have to be Electronic who makes the call. It can be Shiro, it can be Group taking a time on. They say, hey, they're doing A, let's do B to counter.
I still feel it's a strong comment that we're making on the quality of Cloud9. Because usually we stand at the desk and we say, oh, a team has made one roster change. It's going to have so much implications on the defense. It's going to be so complicated. All the protocols are going to have to be rethought through. Here you're switching 2 players, not only, but also you're bringing people who don't even have experience on the map, and yet they still find ways to have impact. I don't think Perfecto was a liability at all. And in fact, Electronic, with massive bravery in some of these fights he was taking on the ARM, they make it look like they've played the map already.
Yeah, he was down that ramp. There was no denying it at times. You know, he was even doing the clearing up the back of the scaffold there. But really and truly, yeah, you're getting in their face, getting aggressive. You're trying to kind of dictate where that fight's going to be.
Yeah, definitely. And I think now we turn to Anubis as the sort of second map, where you're also a little bit surprised by the fact that that's what Cloud9 went for. But we heard from other teams too that in practice they've seen pretty much unbeatable on Anubis. They're beating teams and with a large margin. So yeah, it didn't really translate as much in Cologne. There were a lot of close games. They lost some. They won some of the more important ones too. But we'll see what they have in store for us on this map.
And I mean, listen, one of the hypotheses that we have when we say Cloud9 is going to be a great team is that they're going to be able to improve fast. This is still the very beginning, the very first few steps of a brand new roster with a new philosophy. We're yet to discover what the hell kind of Counter-Strike Electronic wants to play, but something that we assume is that given time, they're going to progress and improve faster than other teams. And I think this is a great time for them to showcase that. You've had your ass handed to you on Anubis, against FNATIC the first time around. Now showcase what you've learned from this, showcase what kind of adjustments you can do, and I think that's why we have a whole lot of trust into that one.
Yeah, and Anubis, a little bit of I guess, a known ground and an unknown ground in some ways. Nico, tell me how this map currently plays in the meta.
I think we're seeing, you know, when it started out, the problem was you couldn't really do much as CT. That was the perception. You couldn't really fight for it. You can just exchange utility, and at some point you have to give it. So what we're seeing now is more teams taking sort of calculated risks, those flash plays outside of B, trying to take deep B control, try to get some information, trying to be aggressive. We even saw it from Cloud9 in Cologne, you know, sometimes just sort of leaving A and playing for mid and B early on, right? Like trying to sort of, based on what was happening earlier in the half, get a read on your opponents. Pretty much it.
Yeah, I think it's a map where if you give up map control on the CT side, you end up being claustrophobic and you have no idea what the hell is going on. We've seen plenty of games where teams were trying to go bomb site centric, like heavily on the A side, heavily on the B side, middle, left a little bit open, but you find yourself in situations where you lose track of the timings. You don't know who can be where and when, and then you have to handle an exit coming at you with an X amount, or unknown amount of flanks or lurks coming in, and I think that's where you have to go for that information grabbing you're talking about.
I think they've also realized if you're not going to really be using mid to go B or to split B. Like that's pretty hard unless it's some early move in the round where you found a gap or anything along those lines. Like there's a lot of positions to clear. It's hard to clear that if you're on the lurks. Like, so it's going to be A split. That's why we see from the CTs, if they're going to give mid, like they're going to try to flash outside B, right? Because they know the danger. Even if a guy is mid, for him to come and backstab him, it's going to take too long, and they have the timings to execute those sort of pushes.
But, like the A defense against an A split is horrifying. I feel like on the CD side, like if you're Axile, for example, we put his name under the spotlight quite a lot in this desk. If you're standing on the A side and you know middle is compromised and they can come from that connector right over there, this is just hell. Like you have to have some sort of map control, some sort of territory into the A main entrance. Otherwise, you're getting sandwiched for both sides. You see from the windows, all of the utility that can come flying in. You're not surviving that one. So you have to have some sort of territory, some sort of ground to work with, and space where you can breathe.
Well, tell me a possibility here. Tell me there's a way that Cloud9 could have fumbled by also picking Anubis. Is that possible? You know, do we see the likes of Ancient coming in as a decider?
I mean, it is possible. FNATIC already beat them off the map. Sure, like Buster was in, it was an Exile and whatnot, but that tells you also that FNATIC has a good understanding of the map and they have moves that they can also go for. So seeing as the talent on Cloud9 that they have available to them, I think it's going to be a tough task, though.
Does it end here, Maniac? Yes,
yes,
or no?
It does.
It ends right here, right now, after the test, trials, and tribulations. Yeah, Cloud9 grabbed that first map. We're going to go ahead and get ready for the second one. It's going to be Anubis. We're going to see if C9 can send FNATIC home. You're watching Gamers8, everybody. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. The second map will be Anubis. Tournament life on the line here for FNATIC Anders. And this is a rematch, remember. They did play Anubis at Cologne. But Buster was playing for Cloud9. But Mezzi went 25-10, and now Mezzi's not performing, Buster is not on the server, and this is the pick of Cloud9. Is this where it all comes crashing down for the likes of FNATIC?
The desk seems to think so. I'm really nervous for them, and I can't help but think about that pistol round that they won in the opening on Vertigo, and now they lost the second one. That can't happen again. We need FNATIC to start really well. Afro getting put under some pressure, but he's got Roy right next to him, and this is a great combination. Messi with a shot as well. He's going to push on forward and shut it down. The bomb is on the ground, and there's nothing they could do. Axel on his own, and he will get picked off, just sniped away by Dexter. It doesn't get any better than this.
Mezzi with his best Monacy impression there, the unsilenced USP. You don't see many of those these days, and 3 kills delivered as well. It was a bit of a mid-rush coming in there from Cloud9. They get absolutely blown out of the water here. Mezzi getting the job done, and just so you know, like, there's no real reason to use the unsilenced USP unless I'm being horribly mistaken here, Anders. Maybe you've got some sort of mad scientist theory?
Just put your opponents off, doesn't it? It's just weird.
It's just a weird thing. Yeah, it sounds cool. It feels nice, but there's really no reason to do it. But I love it all the same. Sets the tone for the game, and it was Messi who was really struggling on Vertigo. He barely made double digits. So a great start, but cannot afford to give this one up. Bear in mind, they lose this map, FNATIC. They are out of the tournament in the first round. Their map pick of Vertigo fell against them in a 16-14 fashion. And we've got a bit of an execution here. Some smokes being delivered towards the B side nice and early, but the bomb's on the other side of the map here, so just trying to bait out some utility. They've garnered some mid-control as well. Electronic finds himself at the double doors, calls for the reinforcements here. And Afro with a defensive game, holding onto his smoke and just wants to make sure he denies access in towards A.
Yeah, that's what you need to do. He's almost dead. They're trying to push through the flash. It's amazing, and it takes the first kill. Dexter put under some pressure here, but the Lance is doing everything you could have wanted. 3 kills, he pulls out the USB, and finally he's going to be found by a Tech9. But my God, if Dexter doesn't pick up that triple, this round it might have been lost already. Bomb is going to be planted here. Axel playing it close enough for the headshot with the Tech9, but he's not going to make a difference. Just Shiro. How has he done it? Already 2 kills. The Deagle ringing true. And he takes it to a 1 versus 1 with Crims on the other side. M4, and he misses the timing. He wanted to get away, and he's going to get found instead. There was a real moment, Henry, where that could have worked out.
Shiro ideally just needed to find safety in towards heaven. If he could just deny the duel for a moment and just run that bomb down, it could have been everything. But Crims delivers once again in the 1 versus 1. He's had to do that a couple of times so far, and we're getting to another interesting round with the bomb planted it down to 1v1, Anders. It does beg the question, will you buy again? Will you go for at least a half buy? I would say yes. I would say you've got them uncomfortable here. You found some weaknesses. You've made them look like they might break, but time will tell. We'll get into round 3 here. It's going to be very interesting to see which direction they go in. They are going to buy, so they've gone all in.
I fully agree with what you're saying. I mean, you want to put out the pressure. You know that that CT side economy is going to be very weak at the moment, so why not try and do it? And if you're Cloud9, you win the first map, you probably feel really confident, and now you're on your own map pick, so I can see why they'd want to try and put the pressure on. Electronic jumping over the bullets, it looked like. Nobody taking any damage, weirdly in the middle.
So, smoke down towards Dark. Mezzi to defend. In terms of the general setup, we've got Shiro watching for any A pushes here. The A bomb site's actually completely open right now. CTs haven't got anyone in there. Focusing towards middle. Roy and Dexter working in tandem here. It means an A retake would have to be on the cards. And Shiro is getting some sort of access towards A. And they've actually smoked it off from middle as well. That's quite cool. So they're suggesting people are in there. But either way, it's a B push coming through. Afro and Crims with full control, and now with that information garnered, Anders, they can actually put resources in towards A. They've got the outside of B, and now this is where the round becomes very interesting for Cloud9.
Look at where the bomb is, Henry. If this is so close to being a 1 round for FNATIC, they might just find the bomb here on Axel. He's running back to pick it up, and I think they heard the footsteps. But did he slip the net? Did he actually make it out? They're going to be able to call it in. They still know that this is going to be an A attack, but it could have been even worse already. Look at Afro. Sneaking on in, he wants more than just a single kill, setting it up for the double, but he gets nothing instead. Oh, he's wiped out. It's a disaster. Dexter is back at it again, and Roy as well. They have to come up with another multi-kill, but it's not going to happen. Shiro cleaning up the bomb site, opening it up for at least a bomb plant.
This game is delivering on all fronts. No round is safe, Anders. Everything is up for grabs, and we're back to a 2-on-2 here. Bomb is planted, but it's anyone's round. It's wide open as Mezzi will pick up yet another frag. His second in the round here. It's down to Perfecto. A great performance on Vertigo, and he'll have to go absolutely huge here to stand a chance. Famas in hand, no grenades. Needs to get the kills in his favor. First one is no problem. Does significant damage towards Crims. Another 1 versus 1 for the Swede. Can he deliver? The bomb is ticking at some pace, and Perfecto just needs to hide. He doesn't have to really do anything with this one. If he stays behind the pillar, he wins the round.
That's exactly right, and this is so smart. And again, he's one of those players, I think on Navi, they did call him a genius a couple of times, and you can see why. He just did enough. There was a kit right there. If he would have died, Crims would have been able to save the round, but Perfecto getting the first couple of kills and then hiding for the rest of it is everything you would have wanted, and it will be Cloud9 on the board much earlier than FNATIC would have loved.
And bear in mind, that was a perfect round from FNATIC. They had all the information they could possibly ask for their Anders. They left the A bomb site open, allowing them to push outside B, finding no one there. We push all the way into spawn. That's the kill. Afro, he plays the trigger discipline, right? He's going for 2 frags. Perfecto takes him down, and that's the difference maker. It was a locked-in round. It was guaranteed with the information they had. And now Cloud9 on their feet, and this is another precarious scenario on either side. The 4-spy wars continue, ladies and gentlemen, but the pace is not slowing down. Electronic leads the way towards middle once again, engulfed in flames. They will push the CTs back, and you can see FNATIC quite happy not to really have much presence towards middle, and Electronic's reading that. That's a massive part of the map to take early.
Even the investment world, they say a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush.
Yes, that is one of the sayings available. That does exist, yeah.
And unfortunately for Afro, I mean, it's hard to, you can understand the logic, right? It's not that he's not understanding it, but you just wanted the double. And unfortunately, if he'd got the kill early and just actually stayed in the spawn area, that probably would have been a real problem for the C9 side of things. But we'll see if this is going to be working out. A bit of a stack towards the A-bomb side and up close and personal. They got the MP9s there as well. There is a bit of a backstab potential coming in from the middle, but it's Afro. No. Good for the first one. Perfecto on the double, and that should be enough, I think. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Dexter.
I don't know.
He's looking everywhere. Oh my God!
I don't know, Anders.
Headshot. He's taken down Electronic. What a disgusting kill.
Yeah, that third player waiting behind the cake. The fly in the ointment, but here's Hobbit. A backstab himself, back down to a 2-on-2 once again. All of these rounds have been so tantalizingly close, but they seem to have the information now. Crims in another 1 versus 1, 3 in a row for him. He's converted one of them. We'll see whether he can come out on top this time. It's Shiro who's got the advantage, though, running in towards the B-bomb site, and the world is his oyster. He can plant literally anywhere. Nice open plant. He doesn't go for the default. It means he can patrol it from Dark and, of course, B-main as well. So now down to Crims with no kit, a couple of flashbangs. He needs to operate very quickly, but the bomb will be halfway gone before he even gets close to the C4, and he can't really just stampede in as well. He's hoping he can outflank, outmaneuver Shiro at this point, but every second that goes by just increases the chances for Cloud9.
I was going to say, if he had a kit, then maybe there could have been a chance here. But the fact that he doesn't, it just feels like you almost have to just run under the bomb side. And obviously, for a bunch of reasons, that's really awkward to try and do. You can see he's got one tap at it here, and he's already walking away. He's realized, yeah, there's nothing I could do. Even if he found the kill on Shiro after, right here in Dark, it wouldn't have made a difference. He just wouldn't have the time for it. So, unfortunately, not going to work out for Crims this time. And the scoreline's tied up already. They're just going for it.
I'm loving this series so far. I said to you in the break, like every game is essentially a playoff game, right? And it's delivering on all fronts. No round is safe. Everything is up for debate. And every player seems to be delivering as well. Like Dexter with the Deagle headshots in the back of the bomb site. You'd think, like I said, Perfecto's double kill might be enough, but a beautiful contribution from the new in-game leader. Crims, another 1 versus 1, but as mentioned, no utility, no kit. It will have to be the eco here. The old veteran, the Swede, does have his saved rifle here, but the Molotov towards double doors. Flash is going over as well. Here they come once again, trying to take control of that mid position, but back towards A we go, and it's Afro who will just be escorting Crims outside A main. He does give himself a headshot to his teammate, but finds the opening frag. They've got the man advantage, but not for long. 3-on-3, and the rifle is down. Oh my God, Dexter, how's he won that fight?
I have no idea. With the smoke fading, Hobbit should have been dead. Or should have been able to get the kill. Goes the other way somehow. I just can't even explain it. Quick USP shot to the head, and it just does the job.
And they can win this round now. Dexter with the AK, Roy on the M4, man advantage. And it all started with 4 USPs, no grenades, no Kevlar.
Yeah, no, you pointed out even a headshot on a teammate there to begin with, but still, they're right in it here. A little bit passive on the B bomb side, so they don't know much about what's happening in the middle or even towards T spawn, but alone at the site is Roy. He was such a force to be reckoned with on the early map on Vertigo, but this time he's going to get picked off. A little bit of a wide swing. He wasn't expecting them to be that deep in, so the bomb is at a minimum going to be planted here. Perfecto ready to catch them. He hears the footsteps, and he's good for it. Mezzi goes down, and Dexter, is it going to be enough? He can't land the shot. Unfortunately, I think aim punched a bit there as well, and Perfecto will clean up the round.
Yeah, if you're not aware, aim punch is when you have no Kevlar on your body. Any bullet that touches you anywhere, your crosshair gets knocked up, and that's why you kind of need Kevlar. It doesn't just protect you from damage, it enables you to actually have fair duels, and Cloud9 resuscitating the round. It felt like it could fall apart there, especially when that USP from Dexter came through towards B main, but it will be 3-2 as we get into round number 6. If you're just joining us, it's the opening game here at Gamers8 CSGO Championship 2023. $1 million on the line here, single elimination, and the first map went in favor of Cloud9. That was Vertigo, the pick of FNATIC as well. So just one map away from knocking FNATIC out of the tournament, and this was a big round considering they're up against just USPs and M4s. It comes right down to the wire, and they're just happy to get over the line at this point. Just winning the round is enough to have a sigh of relief as we get into the first real gun round here. The 4 spies are overenders. We've got the AWP for Afro, but unfortunately he has no Kevlar. So that aim punch conversation comes right back in here at round number 6.
And the grenade conversation, right? It's another thing where the lack of Kevlar will do a lot more damage when you get hit by some of those HEs. So I guess we'll find out if it's actually going to be a problem or not. We don't know yet, but certainly could be a bit of an issue. I still don't mind it because he was such an incredible force when he was playing on Vertigo that you want to see him pick it up again. I think they delayed it to like 7 or 8 rounds before he had it on Vertigo. And
the first gun round he did have it, but he got tagged down to 17 HP at the start of the round. So he was just nullified. He didn't really have a chance to show us what he was capable of. Once he got going though, he was unstoppable, and that's a great opening frag. Bear in mind, no Kevlar, still playing heads up, finds Axile. And that's the opening kill. And Electronic, well, knows the middle is available to him, but the AWP's watching it.
And if he throws the grenade here to block off the AWP, that's going to give away the game. Then the rest of the team are definitely going to know what's happening here. So we'll see. They've stolen the AK, pushed on out. And Cloud9 are pushed into a very small part of the map right now. They're not really controlling probably as much of the game as they would want at the moment. 3-man stack at the B bomb side, which to be often is really often not enough. Unfortunately, it can still fall apart here. Perfecto is going to get the kill on one. Crims manages to get just away in Dark. It's close.
I thought Kims was going to commit to that fight, and he does. I don't like it. I think falling back with the advantage was the better call here. He's got backup from A main, so they will trade it out. Electronic down to the 2 versus 1. Oh my God, what a shot that is! No way! Afro will save the day with the AWP. He knew exactly where the peak was coming from. Electronic could have brought a show-stopping play into the field, but it is going to be FNATIC posting their third. And it's Afro with no Kevlar finding those opening picks, and that was everything for them. The money is in an interesting position, a precarious one for Cloud9. It have to be the half buy here, and Electronic almost had the play of the tournament. I said that would a pinch of salt. It is the first game, but it would have been fantastic.
It would have been one hell of a clutch. And, you know, I think he had like 15 seconds, and the bomb was actually where Afro was. It was down by that little boat. So ultimately, if Electronic, I think even if he misses the shot and they just both walk away, there's not enough time for him to get to a bomb site. So he just had to take the fight no matter what then.
Well, here we go. It is going to be barely a half buy here. This is an eco with no Kevlar to speak of. Just some upgraded pistols. Bear in mind, though, although the map is evolving, it is considered to be a T-sided affair. And we'll see if they can make it dent here. Roy's got the Bison. You don't see many of those.
You really don't.
I think 0 per tournament is normally average, so the fact we're bringing it out here is interesting. Maybe a misfire, but maybe he's got something up his sleeve. It's still a viable weapon it can work against. Just the pistols here. Doesn't look like it'll be a massive issue. And he gets a kill. Maybe the only kill we'll see with the Bison this tournament, to be honest with you.
I love the fact that he could just keep shooting forever. It's just so
64
weird.
bullets in that baby.
Yeah, he's never going to run out. And that is probably the only real power. If they're unarmored and they're coming through the smoke, you can keep holding it down.
How much of the CSGO beta did you play back in the day, 2011, 2012?
I'm going to be honest. I logged in and I saw the smoke and the fog on Dust.
Yep.
And the
you went into
cars,
it?
and I was just immediately out. Like, mentally just thought this.
For me, right, I was heavily involved in the beta. The Bison was the best weapon in CSGO when the game first came out. We even had an IRC group called Viva La Bison, which was like our pickup gather channel where all the 1.6 and Source players play. And the joke was that it was the best gun in the game, so everyone was using it. But glad to see those days are over. Just a nice walk down memory lane there, as we will see the next gun round underway. It's a difficult one for Cloud9, but they are doing significant damage. Afro down to 2 points of health. Electronic couldn't get closer, and this time a bit more active towards middle. It's the opening frag once again for FNATIC.
How does Afro get away with that one? 2 health. It's really not a lot. Some pressure being put onto the B-bomb site. Perfecto, good for the opening, but Crim's just spinning all over the place. He's sure someone's going to be coming from dark, but nobody is. He's still getting the double kill, and it's a 3 versus 2. Now, they are tagged up on the FNATIC side. Oh, here comes the grenade. That's it. Absolute touchdown. Hobbit trying to see if he can land a headshot with the Galil, and he can. A minute on the clock, and it's Roy out in the open. He's got no idea. You see both Crims and Roy were sure that someone would have been coming from dark. Roy gets the kill, and he's immediately looking for dark. They're just so confused by the fact that there's no mid-presence in that B attack. It's just all coming for the main entrance.
Are any of these rounds going to be super convincing where 4 players survive? Is everyone going to be coming down to a 1 versus 1? I'm not complaining, but this is wacky right now. It's the opening game of a tournament. You don't normally see this sort of high octane action so early on, but bear in mind you have to treat every game like it is the playoffs. Electronic not happy about what went down there, but it is going to be the force buy from the international squad going forward. They've got an AWP for Afro. Currently sat on 4 kills and 6 deaths here. Trying to operate with the MAC-10, and that'll be deadly. That's a huge talking point, because you can see there's 4 players without helmets here. And the way Electronic's playing, just getting up close and personal, he can do God's work with the MAC-10. It means you get the one-shot potential, the run and gun of the MAC-10 as well. This is the perfect round to utilize it. And again, trying to escort Afro into a prime position as he pushes out towards B. There's that MAC-10. 1 bullet to the head will take them down. But it's Roy actually there on the other side, so he actually does have a helmet, just to know that.
Yeah, he's the only one that can maybe stand up to the MAC-10 for more than a second.
Yeah, true.
Oh, but it doesn't make any difference. Crosshair in the wrong position for Roy, and the rest of them are going to be much easier targets.
Oh, that's surprising they don't clear out that very common position there from Dexter. They weren't even considering it. Now he might even get a double kill. Well, there's that MAC-10 we spoke of. The timings have been so awkward in this game. The moment you look away from a choke point, that's when your opposition seems to walk out. Bomb will be planted. Bear in mind, the MAC-10 still very potent here. Finds Crims and the man advantage. You might just be saving your AWP and M4 here. Not worth it.
Yeah, you would think definitely not. That means the T side are going to be up around 5-4, still keeping it very, very close. And like we said, when you got this kind of a dynamic, I mean, usually it's going to be favoring the T side, but also in the single elimination world, there are so many rounds to look back on where you just think, man, I just needed to hit that kill, and maybe everything would have been different at the end. Mezzi doing a fine job at holding on to what he's got. Even upgrades into the AK. Electronic's going to be just sitting by the bomb. And they still got that AWP on Afro. So not the worst result here for FNATIC. The rest of them are still going to be in a weird position economically, but they've got something to fight with.
1 round separating these two teams. Wouldn't have it any other way. As you can hear, we're actually in the arena from day one as well, Anders. Normally we have to build up into it. We have to go through the studio.
No build up.
No, we're straight in there. You can hear our dulcet tones booming around the room here as Kita will have to chime in. One of the few Brits at this tournament along with Mezzi. Don't see many of them these days.
No, slowly. I mean, they're getting more than was in the beginning of CSGO, I feel like.
We've also got Volt here as well.
Yeah.
Who has gone to the Romanian flag now, I've noticed, so I'm not sure if I can claim him, but still, I will. But either way, we are going to be getting into round 10. And you can see Dexter, new in-game leader as well. Designed to allow Mezzi off the leash to deliver.
It's not looking bad right now.
First map wasn't ideal for him, say that much, but Anubis is where he can do his most impressive work, and he'll have to deliver on all fronts here, as we'll see the AK-47 in his hands, all for Afro as well. And they both missing a shot, but he's stuck. He has to just challenge again and hopefully get one. Burning, and down he goes.
I did criticize Shiro on Vertigo for saying he's not necessarily always a playmaker, he's a little bit more defensive, but that was a wild move, just jumping into the shot, and the Molotov in the corner to force out Afro. He had no chance here, but Crims most certainly does. What a headshot to bring down Hobbit, and suddenly it's a 3 versus 3, and a little bit of panic perhaps on the Cloud9 side of things. It's Mezzi, gifted that AK like you mentioned, and he's good for the kill. Ooh. Got no shot. I think Dexter was triangled in, he couldn't get out of there, and they know where Mezzi is.
Mezzi is the clutch master though, we all know it. I certainly do. You give him an inch, he'll take a mile every single time. So smart in these scenarios, can get so much out of so little. And he's got time. No bomb planted. And he's coming through the backtracks though. In T-spawn right now. Not an ideal position for the bomb being planted, I'll say that much. We'll see what we can make of it.
It's a really long way around,
yeah.
And unfortunately he has to walk the last steps of it, doesn't he? No chance to run the full distance, so a lot of time off the clock before he can even get into the fight. And again, he's got no kit. I don't think there's one on the ground either. Man, how do you find both these players?
You're just hoping there's a mistake made or they're out of position, you get a quick kill, and then maybe you can play with the bomb. Start getting those fake diffusers in, bait them out, but there's no real reason to even look into this and test. He touches it. Good lord. Electronic has given him something to work with here. The bomb is... But the thing is, even with the 10-second defuse here, what can he really do with it? Now he can't defuse. Great effort. Like I said, he'll get the most out of a very difficult situation. He finds both kills, won't win the round, but he's recovered the AWP, taking every member of Cloud9 down. So sure, he doesn't win the round, but that's about the very top end of what he could have done.
Yeah, honestly, it probably could have played out any differently. Even if you said, like you said, even if he sits down on that bomb, tries to go for the 10-second defuse, they can run through the fire. They can just run you down. Yeah, nice effort ultimately, but just didn't have the kit that he probably needed to make this work.
Double Mag 10s, no helmets for FNATIC. This is going to be another very interesting round here. Both teams looking uncomfortable financially, and maybe just a straight-up A rush to send the Mag 10 in first. And this could be one of those really exciting rounds. Electronic trying to show presence towards middle, taken down by Afro. The Mag 10 looking to deliver, needs the headshot, finds Dexter, and now upgrading to the rifle as well. They've actually got access in towards A, but Afro is here with the AWP, smoked off for now, and he still finds a kill regardless.
Axel actually ran into the HE, so somehow it's a 4 versus 3
no,
here. A
Hobbit.
little bit of a chance, perhaps. Hobbit gonna get the kill again. They don't have any head armor, so even the M4s here are gonna be super lethal on the side of Cloud9. Smoke goes up to try and slow down that Molotov just a bit. No bomb plant happening yet. It's actually not even on the site. They're drawing it back because at the same time, Shiro is opening up the
nice
B-bomb
work.
site. This is a huge play.
How much space has he captured there? He's in towards ruins already, right? So this is massive. Like, the fact he's controlling towards that temple position, and they've got to rotate through that as well. We've got Hobbit watching towards window. It still is probably a kill to Mezzi, to be honest with you. He's actually gone towards T-spawn. So anyone's round. 3-on-3, 2 players low. Crims coming in from heaven, and we'll see what they can make of it.
They have a kit this time, Henry. And they have a smoke as well on Crims. Those are big tools to be working with. FNATIC really need this one. They don't have any money left in the bank either. And they're going to get the opening on to Shiro. It's looking good now. Hobbit's still in the middle to hang out. And he might just get completely blocked off. He has smoke to put it away. Can he find the angle? I'm not sure this is going to be easy. Couple of shots ringing through. That a little bit of damage on, but the bomb is being defused on the other side. I don't think he's finding it. But it will come through. Mezzi just barely getting the defuse.
I can't believe
get any
it.
closer.
Good God, if he wins the round, Anders, with a Glock spam. It could have happened. It could have been enough. Saved by a couple of milliseconds there.
Unbelievable.
He didn't have any grounds to win that round, Hobbit, but he certainly came very close. Let's just see when he gets that kill with the Glock.
Yes.
He starts spamming now.
Yeah, he's so low.
It's like the last one more bullet. A second earlier would have done it. That would have been absolutely remarkable. But once again, no round is safe, Anders. Everything is up for grabs at this stage, as we'll see another force spike coming through. The MAC-10's out once again.
His teammate was in front trying to block the shots, but I think he almost blocked none of the Glock. I don't know how to connect it. It looked like he was standing there right in front of him, but...
Well, that's why you're just going to keep buying. You bring every round down to these like 1v1s and these extremely uncomfortable positions. The bomb's planted, you can keep buying. Sure, it might not be the best buy, but if you can get MAC-10s out, Tech 9s, and basic utility, you know you can cause a dent. And
that's
for now,
ridiculous.
Things have slowed down at least. Electronic once again, loving the control he's finding in towards middle, but it looks like a B split potentially. That MAC-10 can't connect this time, but the AK certainly can. Shiro takes down Crims and gets himself a double as well. B bomb side falling apart, but Roy, so good on Vertigo. Brings it back to a 3-on-3, but he's smoked off. Nice Molotov to buy them some time here towards Dark.
Yeah, second smoke towards the center of the map. So how do you reinforce that? I think they've already called it. I think FNATIC realized they don't have the money to go for this.
Dexter's fancying it.
Oh no, I feel like this is so risky. I guess they have a lot of kits, but it's just because Roy is so low on health. They get him the AWP, but how do you even get it back into this round? Dexter, you're right. He is getting a little bit close. Afro's up front, trying to do something. He's going to be the kill onto Shiro, and the MP9 doing a little bit of work. He's on the other side with the kit already, so maybe he could tap it. They're defusing it now. Electronic. Oh, the swing, and this time they're not going to be able to sneak in the defuse. A good close for Electronic.
I can't believe I'm saying this. Another 1 versus 1, Anders. Like every single round has come down to the wire. I know I'm banging on about it, but it's a real anomaly here. It's quite exciting, and now, unfortunately for FNATIC, they're down to $2,400 per player. 7-5 down. Great effort here. The defuse was close, but Dexter can't find the round victory, and they have to yield. They have to give in. It's the full eco. So surely this one's locked in. Bear in mind, when they full ecoed before, they had 1 M4 and 4 USPs, and it came down to the 1 versus 1. And I always say, FNATIC, they always seem to get so much out of these full ecos. They always have a novel setup or a gimmick play.
They do have one. They double flashed their way through the windows. They already threw one. There's the second one, and there's the full-on rush.
Here we go.
A little bit far away, but you know what? That's 2 kills for Mezzi, and it's just off the back of USPs and 2 flashbangs.
Oh, it's Messi as well. He's gonna, okay, I was going to say, Perfecto goes down. This round is wide open once more. Roy, unfortunately, not part of the pack. He can't recover that fallen AWP or the AK. But again, there might be another kill here. There is, and that's 3 on the full eco. They're always so good at getting something out of these rounds. So Roy, he can't do much more, but still, the job has been done. They've made this round uncomfortable and kept Cloud9 very modest indeed.
Yeah, I think one of the big downsides in the early kills that they got is that nobody from FNATIC could pick up the rifles because they were so far away, so they couldn't really recover any of the rifles, even if they got a couple of good kills off the flashbangs, unfortunately. Yeah, Roy going to be slinking all the way around, but I think it's already been read. Yeah, they know. Good read from Hobbit, and that will be the round. So 8-5, it's still Cloud9 with a significant lead at the moment. And for how long is that going to keep up? Messi's fully back in action. He's got 16 kills, Henry. He's doing a remarkable job at the moment. But they're not getting all the rounds they wish for at the moment. It's going to come down to the last 2 here. We're in the 14th round. And for FNATIC, this has to be a couple of rounds that go their way.
There hasn't been any of those rounds where you and I can just have some fun, a few jokes here and there. There's been nothing. I don't even dare have fun on the ecos now because I just know it's going to come down to a 1 versus 1 as usual. But here we go, we're getting to the closing stages of this first half here. The second map, the pick of Cloud9, and so far so good. But still FNATIC fighting. They've got a pretty weak buy here. Oh, I didn't see that swarm. That's pretty cool, isn't it? The nades over towards middle from outside A. Does a boatload of damage. Don't find the kills, but certainly makes things interesting there towards that position. Smoke down from Electronic.
Some of those missed. I feel like some of them didn't connect the way that they would have wanted, because I think they would have done a lot more. Definitely seems like that could work. Electronic. It's enough for a kill to take down Roy. And
how does he know?
He just, I mean, how does he know?
How does he know?
One of the best players in the world is how.
That is absolutely sick, though.
Yeah.
Like the awareness, he was just waiting. He was like, come on, come into my crosser. Walk directly into my crosser so I can just take care of you. There's no questions about it. He didn't doubt it whatsoever.
Oh, dear. That double spray down gets the headshot onto Shiro. That's the bomb as well. They have to go back out and pick it up. This is a bit of a nightmare. Messi, he's fully firing on all cylinders. Going to be taking down the third one. Electronic goes down, and somehow the round is recovered. That should have been a near unwinnable round for FNATIC, but they just made it look easy.
That's nuts. A 5-on-3 advantage completely squandered there by Cloud9. Overcommitting towards the B main position. Shiro trying to take the peak on Crims once again. He's played very well this series, to be fair to him. The old boy is delivering on all fronts here. That huge double kill takes the aggro away from Messi, allowing him to spray them down. And you can see, yeah, a bit of confusion in the ranks here. Just like Electronics, like, guys, I've just done so much work for your middle, and that's how you enter the bomb site. Overcommitted, rushed it, didn't execute, ran into Crims, who got 2 opening kills, like, for nothing. Wasn't blind, no utility down.
Didn't need to at all. Now look at how they're gonna have to play the 15th round. It's Tech9s. I love Tech9s, but you don't want to be playing the last round of the half with them.
Oh, nice flash. The fun thing about Anubis, every game there's going to be something new. Someone's bringing to the table every tournament. Back and forth though, Perfecto will at least find a kill. It's the final round of this first half. They've won the half here, but Afro looks like he's on for a few kills, but it's Shiro who seeks revenge here. It really is all over the place right now. The action is non-stop.
It's a ridiculous tug of war. They just keep going back and forth right now. 3 versus 3 here for the 15th round. And Dexter announcing himself around the smoke he's trying to play. He's got a teammate walking up behind. I think Perfecto's about to be sandwiched in. Flashbang to set it up. I can't believe that he's still alive. How is he not got shot at the back? There we go. Crims will find the kill. But Shiro and Hobbit, they found an empty bomb site. It took all of FNATIC to clear out that kill on Perfecto. So now the question is, can Hobbit and Shiro buy time? They have 2 Molotovs, one of them already gone out, and a couple of flashes. They might be able to slow down FNATIC just enough.
3 versus 2, bomb down again. Hobbit knows he has to be active here. No crossfires will do. They have to try and find a kill. Steal one away. This is the moment, and he's done it. He knows a second player there as well. Gets the AK-47. And a bit of confusion here from Crims, but does manage to nail the kill.
Yes, he does. Shiro in the corner. Molotov already thrown up. They walk right into it. There's the first opening kill. Mezzi's on the other side. That's 20 on the British player, and he goes straight for the defuse. The kit is miles away. He's trying to see if he can find it in the last second. It's going to be close. I'm not sure if he's got it, Henry. He did get the kill, but not the round. Cloud9 walk away with it instead. 9-6 in the opening half, and this is looking great for C9 at the moment.
Warning of what is to come. Can you hear the sound of
When the moon rises, the flame is ignited. We're stronger together and weaker divided. So take my hand, follow my lead. Only one way to be living young, wild and free. Living young, wild and free. Yeah. Look into the stars, look into your heart. Tell me what it is you seek. Jupiter and Mars fall into my arms. I got everything you need. Oh, don't wait too long. We don't have much time to spare. This could all be done tomorrow. So all I need right now is your love. Taking me home, taking me home. So when the moon rises and the flame is ignited, we're stronger together. Give me all your lies, 'cause you're my demon in disguise. I learned to love the catch you keep me in, but the walls keep closing in, and I won't die. But your poison feels so right. Why do I want you in your bed for me? A perfect storm, a beautiful catastrophe.
Yes, 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 we are back. Gamers8 2023. My name is Henry G, joined by Anders, and you are watching FNATIC take on Cloud9. The second map is well underway as Cloud9 need 9-6 here. Tournament life on the line. It's Mezzi with 20 frags, Anders, but he needs his teammate to step up. Afro is noticeably silenced on this map of 8 and 12. And is Cloud9 missing Axel as well? Only 4 kills to his name after coming in for Buster, I suppose. On that last outing, that was the reason it felt like FNATIC took this map. But this one is wide open, I have to say. Every single round is delivering. This has been one of the most fun series I've cast in a long time.
I have to agree, Henry. I think you said it here. Got 24 kills last time, Mezzi, and they ended up winning the map. They have to do it again. They have to make this work, otherwise they're going to get knocked out of the tournament. But it's a great start. Hobbit with a double. Vecto adding to that, and the bomb is right there. They've lost it already. It's just Mezzi left, and he's going to get overpowered. Hobbit with the triple. He's been a bit quiet on their second map, but this time he steps it up. And the fact that they win the pistol on this second half is dreadful for FNATIC. They're in trouble now. I think 9-6 is something you can definitely recover, but losing this pistol round is not great news. Now, there was a lot of trading of rounds at the start of the first half, and that's what FNATIC have to rely on now. They have to be thinking, let's find a way to pick up, maybe not this one, but the next one that's coming up.
Well, a full eco is on the cards, or in the cards, depending on where you're from in the world. And we will see an A-side attack here. FNATIC with all 5 members towards the rugs right now. And with one flashbang, Anders, maybe they can get the bomb down here. I know I've said it a few times, but FNATIC are quite impressive in these sort of scenarios. You think they can do nothing at all, but they always seem to find something here. Maybe a couple of kills are available. There's the first. Afro smoked off for now, and it should be job done for Shiro. Farms himself a ton of cash. That's the player you want to be getting that money as well. The AWPer, of course, now with the $6,000 can drop an M4 and bring out the AWP in the first gun round now.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? The timing on the smoke, I mean, it couldn't have been better. Very, very hard to get through with just the Glocks in hand, so not really too surprising. But he gives a good cleanup. Only Axel having to give his life on that one. FNATIC, they did not get the bomb in the pistol round, so they had to skip that last one, and they go straight into the 5 AKs they're picking up in this one. They have quite a lot of Molotovs as well. Very useful tool, I feel like, on a map like Anubis. There are just so many ways to bomb out the bomb site itself, but a lot of other positions in the middle that you want to clear out with the Molotovs. We'll see if they can find a way to do that. This is aggressive.
Yeah, Perfecto using the veil of the smoke to get himself into a very interesting position down in Canals. Shiro with his vision denied, and now Perfecto needing to get out of here. If he gets one kill, I'll be impressed. Shiro will pick up the pieces 4 and bring it back to the 4 and 4. 11-6 overall here. Now going to see Roy down to 34 points at Valve, and that's such a beautiful shot from Shiro. Gets his 17th. And now on the back foot once again. Crims has been playing very well. Unfortunately, unable to connect the dots here in this particular interaction, and they'll fall back. And here we go. Roy could actually save the day here. The problem is he's such low HP, and they seem to be aware of the prospect at least. He's just holding in towards Akon right now.
He's getting some information. He's hearing the jumps up, so he knows sort of how far back they've gone. They still have the Molotov on Messi, and they're going to use it right there. You pointed it out. You said it, Henry. He was low on health, and that's why they probably didn't want him to be the main force of the attack. But now, instead of a 4-on-3, it's a 2 versus 4. Crims will be good for a couple of kills. 35 seconds left. He's got 17 overall. One of the most veteran players we have in this space, and he's been playing well his entire career, which is not true for almost anybody else. It's crazy to see. 20 seconds. Unfortunately, the bomb is not picked up on him yet, so even if he finds this kill, he's going to be really pressed for time, and I think he's missed the timing, unfortunately. Does pick up the bomb right there, makes it past the AWP, but he's got no idea. Hobbit is right behind him, and he's going to be able to shoot him in the back. He thought he cleared that out, but he just missed the timing by a second.
And no plant as well, and if he gets the plant, they actually have a chance to buy in the follow-up round as well. You can see they've got about 3,300 right now, an extra $800 based on the 41, and then at that point, they maybe can actually bring the AKs out and keep applying that pressure. Without the plant, though, you're in half-buy territory, I'm afraid. You will have maximum loss bonus going into the next round, so you can have a decent buy here, and I say decent with bated breath. I mean, you can get Tech 9 armor, basic utility. Still a very difficult round going forward, but at least it's better than just absolutely nothing. So a B-side attack, an execution, a set piece. As we'll see, the smokes deployed early, the flashes as well. Shiro in a prime position to do damage here, but presumably will be flashed up before they commit. There's the flash, and in they go. They can make this work. There's a world.
Yeah, the opening kill is not bad, but unfortunately for them, Perfecto is just way too crisp on the other side. Not really put under any pressure. He'll find the triple and just close it out. No bomb plant allowed. 13 on the side of Cloud9, and it's time for a reality check in Riyadh, Henry. They're 3 rounds away from getting knocked out of the tournament.
Yeah. It's a brutal format, but certainly keeps things exciting, doesn't it? Like I said, this has been the best opening game of a tournament I think I've commentated. It's normally quite slow paced. It's normally so quite banal, but this has been 1v1 pretty much every single round, everything down to the wire, having to take really crazy risks with the financial decisions as well. And here we go. It's Cloud9 firmly in the driving seat with 4 rounds in a row in the second half here. 13-6 overall, all for Shiro. Not the same story for Afro. Still yet to reach double digits here in round number 20. That's such an epic showing on Vertigo as well. Stole the show, really.
He did. It was beautiful to see. And they need him now. They need him back at that level. Unfortunately, they've lost Roy at the start of the round. It's not necessarily the best beginning for them. 4 versus 5. 1 minute and 10 seconds on the clock, and you could see FNATIC are keeping everything wide open. They got the bomb dropped real far back, so they can kind of switch to wherever they find the opening, assuming they find one. Still some grenades on Cloud9. They're not being put under that much pressure. They can keep Molotoving up the middle. They got smokes to follow it up. They've got Shiro still with the AWP and a couple of grenades on him all the way over at the A-bomb side. This looks like it's going to be very hard to make it through. And speaking of through, this one through the smoke, Dexter gets picked apart. Afro crossing his fingers, just praying that he can make it through. He's going to find the kill, but Hobbit is there with the return, and he's going to take down Messi as well. You're absolutely right. That's it. Crims in a 1 versus 4, and it means Cloud9 are going to be at 14 rounds here.
The door of opportunity was slightly ajar there. If Messi gets that kill, there's a chance they can make the way to the bomb side. Fortunately, it's slammed in their face. And Crims, like I said, he's played remarkably well, a lot better than you might expect, considering the context you provided earlier. But this one is impossible.
You know, sometimes I wake up at night and I worry that we're going to exit CSGO and Crims will, just too many people will never think back and think of Crims as one of the all-time great. But just in terms of how good he's been, the consistency, the level of consistency, it's so rare. I think it's going to be hard if you look month for month through his career to find many months where Crims isn't performing at a high level. And again, he's been playing from the very beginning, all the way back in the LGB days. It was wild.
That's a good point. How many players are left here who's kind of in that same category? I was thinking this morning, so we've got Crims is still playing at a top level.
Device probably.
We lost Flusher yesterday.
Obviously, it was absolute legend.
I guess Device. I guess it's difficult to think that he has been back. He was such a young kid back then, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're dead on. Yeah, so Crims, Device, Flusher now gone. It's a shame when the big names step back, isn't it? It always kind of leaves you feeling a little bit sad, a little bit jaded with the whole thing, but I think it was probably time for Flusher. I think that's fair. Massive congratulations on his career as well. If you're watching, Flusher, amazing stuff, and good luck with whatever you're doing next.
He said he was, sort of thinking about sticking around in different capacities, so I hope that's going to be true.
I'm sure like a streamer or something, I'd love to see him stick around.
Yeah. Or just even if he could lend his, all of his experience to the Swedish scene a little bit more, because we do need the Swedes to get back on top in Counter-Strike, obviously the original country, I would say, to really sort of show how good you could be. So.
Well, FNATIC now will have to channel their inner flusher.
Yes.
Roll back the years, Anders. If we've got to do anything with this game, it's Perfecto to open things up here. Dexter pulls one back, but it looks like Perfecto is about to mow them all down. He gets another dink off towards Roy, but can they do anything else with this? The plan looks desperate. They scramble towards the bomb site. 3 versus 2 here. I dare say they can still win this round, though. There were a few opportunities for Cloud9 to end that there, but they weren't capitalized upon. But, well, there it is. Electronic makes it very easy for them, and the hype's starting to kind of dissipate a little bit now as we find 15-6.
It is, but I've got to say, I mean, the consistency in the spray down for Perfecto and Electronic on both these positions, it's very hard to break through. Perfecto just looks like you have to give up a couple of kills every time you show up in one of these corners, and this is a bit of a weird off angle that he was playing at. I wonder if that's even a position that might be hard to call out if you're coming in on the FNATIC side. You might just say, oh, he's in the hallway towards the CT spawn, but how excited you call that weird pillar in the middle, I'm not sure. But 15-6, round number 22. FNATIC 1 round away from getting sent packing. Having only played 2 maps, it would be devastating. It'd be a hard one to deal with, especially as the first map was 16-14. They could have won that map.
And it's just, they were down 7-1 as well, so they did turn up. Like, they've had a game down to a 16-14. They played well. Like, it was just a back and forth force buy to kick things off. And yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't look good. They're going to need 9 rounds in a row here on the T side. Like you said, it's a T-sided map. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's certainly improbable as we get to the 1 minute 20 mark. Shiro this time positioned towards middle, and that's the area they're probing right now. Bomb still down in T spawn though, outside of B. Crims patrolling the A flanks here. Now, I'm not sure where this smoke goes, Anders. I throw mine from outside the bomb side. See what he's up to.
This is his advanced level. I like it, though. Right between the obelisk and that right-hand side wall. Dexter's pushed on through. He's actually got the right idea. Perfecto.
No way.
He should be dead, but the clock comes out. And Perfecto, how does he get away with that one? Shiro gets a kill. Axile on the trade there as they did lose Electronic. And now it's a 2 versus 2. Absolute mayhem at the bomb site. And Afro trying to see if he can get a little bit closer. He's got Mezzi there already covering the left-hand side, and it's Shiro, though, with the AWP. A little bit of a different caliber weapon. Molotov goes deep, and Axile, he's going to be coming in also from the back of the side here, not going through the middle. He did think about it for a second, but I think he's going to take a more traditional route, and a nice shot. Mezzi's on point, up to 22 with that headshot.
All right, Axel, you haven't really delivered so far on Anubis. 8-16. Can you close things out for the clean finish here on Anubis? It's a beautiful first shot. Afro will remain, and he will be coming out victorious as well. Nice reaction there, swinging just as he pulled out the grenades there, and FNATIC will live to fight another day, another round at least here in Riyadh, Anders. As you said it, 1 more round and they are removed from the tournament, but they put their best foot forward there. That's the first round they've won on their T-side campaign. They're currently down 6-1.
Dexter really having the classic Counter-Strike experience where just as you pull your weapon away, you're just like, oh, that's obviously when they
He could hear the bullets connecting. He knew a player was in there, and he's like, wow, I've only got like 5 bullets left in the AK. I can no longer spam, pull out the Glock and try and finish things off. But that's, of course, when he swings. And now you think after winning a round, maybe you'd have them on the back foot somewhat. It's FNATIC that won the previous round, and they're operating with 3 Galils. Like, so even after winning a round, they still can't catch a break here.
Yeah, they really can't. Good boost. You can do it on the other side of the obelisk as well. You don't really have to do it there. It works on either side, and it's actually very hard to beat if you're coming in from the T side unless you have some perfect smokes. But they're going to give up on that boost and walk forward instead. An easy shot from Shiro, and if you try and swing behind it, they're going to flash their way through. This is a knockout. 2 kills.
Okay, A bomb side is open. They put all their resources in towards B for that little push there, that gambit outside the B bomb side, which was perfectly executed, by the way. That's one of the best sequences of Counter-Strike you'll see. But now, a 5 versus 3 with everything to play for now to survive the tournament. They need to fend off 5 Cloud9 players who have got utility, defuse kits, of course, and just operating with Galils here. It doesn't look good, but at least the bomb is down.
they have to move out of the bombs, all right? They have to push forward and catch some of these incoming CT players, or this is not going to be working out. Flashbang is amazing, and that sets them up nicely. At least they're going to get a bit closer. Two of them coming in from the one side. Perfecto on the kill. Only 2 players left, and now Trims in another 1vx. He's got the first 2 kills. He needs the ace, and it's not going to happen. Hobbit will take him down instead, and it's Cloud9 to continue their march on in Riyadh, and FNATIC getting knocked straight out in the opening series, only playing 2 maps. That's how brutal the format is, Henry.
It absolutely is, but what an entertaining series it was, and there's only 2 maps to play, but Vertigo was so much fun. Back and forth, every round feels like it comes down to a 1v1, and that was true here on Anubis as well. The first half was electrifying. 9-6 to close things out in that first half, but could barely post around it in the second. FNATIC fell flat. It was Mezzi who couldn't find form on Vertigo as well. Show-stopping on Anubis, finally showing us that this is the potential he's got now. Now he's not going to be the in-game leader, but it's such a shame we won't get to see how this develops. It is done. They are removed from the tournament, and it's going to be absolutely heartbreaking for them. But Cloud9, you've got to be very impressed with that one, Anders.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done in the end. I mean, there's nothing else to say. They look like a team that is just so strong at the moment. They look rock solid, and a team that everyone else has got to fear in this tournament.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the first series done and dusted. We'll throw it down to the show floor where our winners interview.
Well, Cloud9 start off strong, and we've got the in-game leader here, Electronic, with us. And Electronic, I want to ask first of all around Vertigo. You and Perfecto never played that on Na'Vi in the past. Do you feel quite confident? You look like you have a good feeling from it. And how much did the rest of your team help you get ready for it?
I mean, our Cloud9 team, this trio, you know, they played it really good before we came into the team. But yeah, we practiced it a lot. I mean, we're ready to play this against everyone. So yeah, we are happy when everyone picks this map against us. You know, they think that me and Perfecto didn't play this, but I mean, we practice it with Na'Vi also, right? So yeah, I have a bit like experience here, not that much, but yeah, still.
زي ما تشوفوا اعزائنا المشاهدين معنا الكترونيك بعد ما خلصوا الفوز 2-0 قدام فريق فناتيك. زياده على كذا هو الاي جي حق الفريق. فسالنا سؤال انه هو بيرفكتو نعرف عنهم شيء انه ماب فيرتيجو ما يلعبون فيه ابدا لانهم كلهم كانوا مع نافي وكلهم مع نافي ما كانوا يلعبون الماب هذا ابدا وهو الديفولت بان حقهم. فكل قد ايش هم كانوا مرتاحين في الماب لان ادائهم كان مره رهيب فيه. يقول احنا تدربنا على الماب هذا وجاهزين ان نلعب فيه وما عندنا اي مشكله اننا نادي فيه اداء كويس خصوصا انه كل الفرق الثانيه تحسب انه احنا ما راح نلعب ماب فيرتيجو بس احنا تدربنا فيه لان كل لاعبين كلاود 9 اصلا يعرفون الماب كويس.
Now, Anubis was quite easy for you guys, if we're honest, right? This was a dominant performance. A lot of people have been saying this Cloud9 is so scary when it comes to this practice games. Now you've got Exile back. Do you feel like you're one of the favorites coming into this tournament?
I mean, we would like to be, you know. But yeah, we feel like we will win this one. So yeah, we'll do everything for this. Yeah, we're gonna like work hard, you know.
سألنا الكترونيك السؤال الثاني في المقابلة نتكلم عن قدرتهم انهم يكونون هم الفائز الاول في هذه البطولة لانه زي ما احنا عارفين مجرد ما انه اكسل رجع معهم كل الناس يقولون ان التيم هذا جدا جدا مخيف فهل هم واثقين من الشيء هذا انه يقدرون يفوزون البطولة؟ كان الجواب يقول انه اي فعلا احنا نتمنى اننا نصير المركز الاول لكن احنا بنشتغل على انفسنا ونجتهد عشان نقدر اننا نحقق اللقب.
And one final thing I'm going to say for you here, Electronic, is you in-game leading, you individually still seem to be really good, but it seems like everyone on Cloud9 right now is being consistent, even Perfecto having some great moments in here. Do you feel like you have multiple stars? Do you think it's like 5 players that can be in star positions?
Yeah, I feel like everyone from our team can do everything on the map, you know. We can clutch every round, like we're just trying our best. We just put our best into the work, you know, and still, we have to prove a lot. We have to work a lot. So yeah, we will keep to do that.
That's what it's all about.
زي ما تشوفون الالكترونيك السؤال الاخير اللي سالناه في المقابله نتكلم عن موضوع انه بما انه هو الاي جي ال هل يحس انه كل اللاعبين اللي معه يعتبرون ستار بلايرز لان زي ما احنا عارفين كلهم عندهم القدره انهم يكونون ستار بلاير في اي فريق. فكان الجواب يقول انه فعلا ان كل الشباب اللي معي التيم ميت عندهم القدره انهم يسوون كل شيء عندهم القدره انهم يعني يسوون كلتش لاي راوند فاحنا مبسوطين على الشيء هذا ونحاول ان نستغله بافضل طريقه ممكنه.
Electronic and Cloud9 move on forward, but FNATIC, that's the end of the road.
زي ما تشوفون اعزائنا المشاهدين هنا ودعنا فريق فناتيك من البطوله بعد فوز كلاود9 عليهم 2-0. خلونا نرجع للاستديو ونتكلم اكثر.
way to be. Living young, wild and free. Living young, wild and free. Yeah. Look into the stars, look into your heart. Tell me what it is you seek. Jupiter and Mars fall into my arms. I got everything you need. Oh, don't wait too long. We don't have much time to spare. This could all be done tomorrow. So all I need right now is your love. You're taking me higher, taking me higher. So when the moon rises and the flame is ignited, we're stronger together and weaker divided. Yeah. Take my hand, follow my lead. Only one way to be.
I am here with an absolute legend, and I don't know why they made both the gamers come outside midday in the heat. You were clever, you bought the sunglasses. It is Pasha Biceps, all the way in Saudi Arabia. What do you think of this Gamers8 setup so far?
I'm coming to Araba Gamers8 event. Here is a lot of Polish player, Polish coach, Neo and Cuban. I would like to cheer for them. This is my first time in that kind of event. I hope so it will be more in the future. So I represent esports all over the world. So I'm here to show the people in Poland, in the Europe, how the people doing that kind of event, and hope so I will enjoy. And I'm waiting for my bike ride in the evening because I need to try the sun.
I was going to ask you, I was like, did you bring your bike? Are you going to ride in this? You'll get very fit, but also probably melt.
You know, I like when it's the sun. I like to sweat very much. Then I feel how is the training, how I feel. So I'm waiting 3-4 hours and I'm ready to go. I need to watch some matches. Kuben playing right now in 10 minutes. And then Neo. So perfect day. Sport, esport, hotels.
It is the perfect day. What do you think of this format, this like sudden elimination for so much money? Do you think it makes it a bit more exciting for all of us?
Of course. This is like how many people. There's a lot of opinion, right? That kind of like a system. Someone don't like that kind of system, but hard to say. It depends what you like. For you, it's okay or no?
I like it. I think it makes it a bit exciting. I'm like, for me, it just adds a little bit of a different touch during the course of the whole year.
Yeah, you know, when I play in the past, when we travel to the China and playing like 2 maps and single elimination, and you need to back home. So this is like a crazy. If you have a lot of games, you can have a more experience for the future. So very good.
It's a little bit of fun. Final question: who do you think is going to win this?
To be honest, I don't have a winner, but I would say that I want to show the Polish team like a 9 in the final or top 3. So I cheer for them very much because Polish people, Polish esports, Polish community need some kings of counterstrike, because no more Virtus Pro. We need another like generation.
Thank you so much, Pasha. There we go.
Thank you very much.
Our first team has been eliminated. That is FNATIC. They've done it at the hands of Cloud9 even, and they've done it in 2 maps. First one was a little bit of a roller coaster, but we're here to kind of dive into what was the second one and what was the series overall before we do jump into our next game of the day. I welcome you back. You're watching Gamers8. And of course, I'm here with Maniac and YNK on the desk. So we're going to try to lock this one down for you guys. Cloud9, stay alive. Got a little hairy in the first map. Second map, how'd you feel?
Job done for Cloud9 on the second map, and a very interesting reminder of something that's underrated about this roster is how strong they can be late round situations. Like when you have a roster of this quality with so much experience and so much impact distributed across, it doesn't really matter who is left in the 2v2 and the 3v3. You know that the players are eventually going to place themselves in the right position, have the right timing. Perfecto had a couple of moments, Shiro had a couple of flanks as well, and you could just see that difference in late round was huge for Cloud9.
I think you can also tell how it's going to be kind of BS having to play against this Cloud9 team, man, because you have a guy like Exile end up with a 9-18 score line on the second map, and meanwhile Perfecto has 25 kills, you know, 1.6 rating, 128 DR. He had an amazing series as well on the first map too, right? So it's just going to be very difficult when they play the CT side to penetrate that defense, man. Like everyone is so good individually. Like, they have good players in the rotation roles too, who can try and push for information plays, like find gaps, get good timing. So you really have to be on point across the board when you're playing them.
And I love that you mentioned these rotations and timings on the CT side, because in the scoreline, Electronic might not be that high. I think he had a decent map by the numbers. I mean, the amount of moment where Cloud9 needed to figure out what the hell was FNATIC doing, needed to get a little bit of information, a little bit of movement, it was almost always Electronic. He was coming in with Axile to push on the A main. He was coming in towards middle to retake it when they had given it away. He was coming on the B side to help them flash over and take that information. He had so many right ideas and intention. That's just what a leader is supposed to do.
I'm pretty sure there was even times he was set up to get the trade, and he just got the
Right, he
frag
just
instead.
destroyed it
Like, I'm
immediately.
just going to take that. It's mine now. Yeah. So Electronic coming in with big impact. Yanko, you echoing that sentiment?
Yeah, I think when you look at how Anubis really went, I think the problem was a little bit on the FNATIC side of things as well. Just couldn't get anything going in the second half, right? Losing that pistol, losing the first gun round, all of that stuff. Guys like Roy, who did a great job on Vertigo of opening up rounds, couldn't really find that sort of impact, that amount of kills. Afro as well, you know, that was the problem. Mezzi was quiet on the first map,
showed up,
and now showed up on the second map. That's the problem. Like, I don't like to pinpoint this sort of thing too often, but when you play a team that's as strong as Cloud9, similar to when you play like a FaZe, you can't have guys go missing. You have to step up to their level, really, because then it doesn't really matter what you call and what sort of reads you're getting if your players can't get the kills.
And I don't much care what platform that you're watching this Gamers8 on. I don't, but I imagine there's a chat. So I'm gonna just go ahead and ask you right now to type in STC so they can take this place over. Because on the backside of that, we talk about some of the highlights and some of the things that are really sticking out. I think that there's going to be a plethora of things we could choose through. Hobbit and company, though, 13-6, I mean, really does speak for itself at that point, right?
Yeah, definitely. I just wanted to bounce back on what Yanko was mentioning about Perfecto. Like, I feel like low-key, he's a name that's falling under the radar in that lineup because of how stacked the roster is. But the amount of time he had like multi-kills in positions, even on the CT side, like skill-wise, he's got nothing to worry about in this roster. He could more than hold his ground. He had no problem in this entire game. I'm sure he's going to be showcasing a couple of these highlights here. Look at this perfect fist bump as well onto Groove. That is quality right here. Crucial fist bump.
Crucial. He's not playing here, is he?
He's not.
No, okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't tripping or anything. Yeah, let's talk about this in more depth. And I'm thinking about certain rounds. I'm thinking about certain things that are really going to kind of stick out. We talked a little about trading and how that was going a flurry, but also maybe some misstep, maybe some hesitation, Yanko.
Yeah, or maybe a little bit of just miscommunication, you know, some slight missteps for the side of Cloud9. I think this was, you know, towards the tail end of the first half, really, when they were still trying to close out the half in a strong manner. If we can jump right into it, I think we'll be able to show you guys sort of what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's round 11.
I could meme the round. Yeah. I could enact it.
And I'll make gun sound noises. So
I'm Shiro taking the timing.
Perhaps we can. We do have telestration, I think. But in the meantime, that was a nail-biting round. If you think about how that round played out in the long run, that was it couldn't get much closer than that, right?
I mean, I don't think we should do foreshadowing. We can talk about what it spends, talk about lurks and flanks and timings being found. That one doesn't really convert, but in the end, it was just Cloud9 very much in ownership of the map. It felt like late round situations. FNATIC played really far back, left a whole lot of space, and we'll have a good example here.
Yeah, I think the way the round opens up, really, you'll see Cloud9 wants to go for an A rush. Electronic here is just supposed to use some nades to draw more attention to mid. Unfortunately, the op is there, gets rid of him immediately, but the pace from Cloud9, it's so fast. They beat the smoke. Like, this is exactly what they wanted, the situation. They get a trade here. They get towards the side. You know, they're going to get one more kill. At this point in time, you need to keep an eye out for number 5 here, right? This is Shiro right here towards middle, you know, and you can see right now he's probably communicating, hey guys, I heard them rotate, you know, maybe we can come back towards the B bomb site. They're still drawing out utility towards A. They're still keeping them busy, but you can see Shiro. I think here you're going to see him as well. Again, just going to zoom real quick on the radar. Look at where all the FNATIC players are. They're deep in the A bombs, and I think Shiro, when you make this call, you need to push deeper. You need to get into cave or something along those lines. Instead, he just goes, you know, closer towards CT in Ninja and just parks up right here. And with the time that takes for his teammates to rotate from A to B, you know, that's not enough depth, I feel, that he should have gotten on the bomb side. You can also see here number 7, that's Mezzi on the flank. So at this point, FNATIC is actually in a pretty good retake situation because Hobbit, low HP, out of the play. He was holding mid, right, and is going to be the last guy surviving late on. And here it comes down to sort of just 1v1 fights. Crims just clears Shiro, right? Then we're going to see Afro get the kill on Perfecto as well. And now it's a really tough situation for Hobbit, really, in a 1v3. He also gets smoked out, and he's still going to get the lineup and almost get the kill, right? So this is one of those things where, looking back, it's not a big deal or anything massive. Luckily, Electronic won a big clutch 1v2 in the next round. If he didn't win that, then this would mean a little bit more, but it was just about sort of taking a little bit of a bigger risk if you're Shiro in that situation.
I wonder if he just didn't pay too much respect to the defense. Like, obviously, we can see, we have bird's eye view on the whole situation. We know he's got a whole gap, but I think he might have expected the defense to be a bit closer to the side. Didn't want to push the envelope, get punished.
You know what's that? It's like, who told me about this? I think it was Fallen. It's sort of like your opponent, like the way they play the game and see the game, they expect you sort of like to do the same. So in that, with that mindset, it's like, sure, you know, he would probably stay.
He would have a defense in position.
He would stay, or his team would stay. So he's like, oh, someone must be here, because for him that would be the correct play. But actually, I mean, they were so quick on the rush towards A. They had so much pace that, you know, looking back, he's probably going to see like, I actually could have gone like a lot deeper than this. Yeah.
But again, hindsight, right? You know,
2020.
It's 2020 because it's easier to look back on it, right?
Hey, they lost Trace. He was wrong.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, now that you said that, hindsight is wrong. Well, no, okay, we're not going to go down that path. What we can do is talk about Arcadia MVP. I'm looking at a Perfecto. I think that makes the most sense, right? Like, he really showed up in spades here today.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's going to be obviously a player that might not hold the spotlight too much, but honestly, the way he played on Vertigo, even though, and I think that storyline is slowly coming to an end, but the whole, like, not having really played Vertigo in an official for quite a while.
I hate that. The next person who asks that question needs to be, like, fired. I don't care anymore. It's like, we asked them 17 times so far. It's like, they're fine with Vertigo, guys. Like, they know how to play. These are professional Counter-Strike players. Like, they know how to play a map that they may even haven't played that much with a different team. Like, after a month with people who are very good on the map, they'll be fine.
I mean, there's a comfort level, right? At that point, we're talking about comfort levels on maps rather than, oh my God, you're going to play it.
Yeah, definitely. I just wanted to mention as well, like, mechanically speaking, if you talk about Perfecto, I don't think he's up there with, like, the biggest, greatest aimers of the game. I think it would be a wrong statement, but the fact is, he takes so many duels that he can win straight up. He doesn't need the flick, like, he doesn't need that clean.
And also, guys like Electronic and Perfecto, like, I'm sure they can figure it out. If you had to make Config play something like that, then maybe I'll be like, well, maybe, you know, that's going to take a little bit more time or anything like that. But for everyone you talk about with Perfecto, it's like, this guy's a genius. Similar to James. Maybe they have the same pregame ritual, who knows?
Oh my goodness, what a pregame ritual that one might be. We're not going to expand on that one, but I'm sure that we could use our imaginations.
Research.
Yeah, do your own research, get deep into the memes and all the things that might come along with researching that. I'm not sure how to help you in that notion, sorry. But what I can tell you is, yeah, Perfecto MVP makes sense. Cloud9, they stay alive here. And going forward.
Yeah, the FNATIC's out.
FNATIC's gone.
That's it. Thanks for coming. You know, two maps.
Listen, that's a throwback to how Counter-Strike used to be back in the years. Now, Spain, you show up, you lose one series, you're out. Here's your train ticket, or maybe much flight ticket here, I think.
Yeah, you know, it can be a long travel.
That'll be a long train ride.
It will be. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket so that we can also help to paint the picture that is coming together.
But there's been one game happening. I'm sure people have followed
one game, but check it out. Now we know exactly who Liquid and Ints are going to play if one of them, well, when one of them win.
That actually is how it works. Like, for the viewers at home, like, if you win the game, you play the next.
Wow.
It's a really easy concept to grasp.
And it also looks like Gamer Legion picked up their first map of the series.
It was like a double affair.
OT, yeah. And that was Apex's pick, so now they're, well, 4-0 down on their own map pick, so who knows? Maybe that's a 3-map affair, Trace.
It really could be, and it really might be. Obviously, again, single elimination. I don't think we can stress that part enough. It's not very often that we get to say it, but also the things that are on the line here. It's undeniable.
Yeah, I think that's what's interesting, because single elimination is happening somewhere around the Counter-Strike calendar here and there, but it's the only time that we have both the prestige and a huge bag of money at the end of that single elimination. Like, that in itself, it means a whole lot. It's not just a qualifying spot, it's a whole lot of dineros.
The whole enchilada.
You see how his eyes light up when he talks about it? I almost confused him with Chad.
All the bags, all the time. That's right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I think that we put a pin in what is Cloud9 versus FNATIC. It does set us up nicely for what's coming up next. That's going to be a little bit of Falcons Heroic, followed by Navi Furia over here on the A stream. But we do go to a break, so we can come back and see who gets eliminated next. That's right. It's all on the line. It's Gamers8.